Here's Christian Miller.
It's time for the Miller's Edge
with four-time SEC champion
and two-time national champion Christian Miller.
Once again with Christian Miller taking him down.
Here's college football playoff national champion
Christian Miller
on Tide 100.9
and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Hope everybody's doing great. Hope you guys are ready for yet another day of breaking down some Alabama football updates, college football updates. Plenty to talk about. Transfer portal is back alive, right? We're back from the dead. Dead period has concluded, which don't even get me started. Why is there a 3-day dead period, right? Like somewhat in the middle of it where, you know, communications or visits and all that stuff shuts off and you pick back up with 2 days remaining? I don't know. So don't even ask me that question. I don't have an answer for it, but it's back going. Visits are picking back up. We'll talk about some of the recent activity, what's the latest going on, and how Alabama is looking to close out this transfer portal period, which again, the portal will close in 2 days. However, that does not mean you can't still go get players, right? I repeat, the portal will close, but anybody that's in the portal remains in the portal, and you still can sign with a team, meaning Alabama can still sign players after the close of the portal in 2 days. So just got to remember that. But if you're a player that had interest in joining the portal or entering the portal, maybe transferring, right? You can't do that after the deadline, which is in 2 days. So we'll talk about kind of the latest, what's going on. Definitely some activity. Definitely expect Alabama to be making some moves in the next couple of days, if not a week or so, however long it takes. And we'll also talk about some of the other big news that's not coming from the portal, but that's coming from roster retention, right? Because we definitely got some big news there as well to talk about. So hopefully you guys are ready to dive into that. And I want to make sure that I remind you that 11:30, we also will be joined by a guest to break some stuff down. Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver, will be joining us. He joined us last 2 weeks now. You guys really enjoy a lot of his thoughts and input in his commentary. So we're going to keep getting him back on here to break all things down, college football, Alabama roster, where things stand. I definitely want to get his thoughts on this team, where we're at, and see if he is in line with kind of how I've been thinking and what I've been expressing over the last couple of days. Another news and note, I guess I should hit real quick because I don't think we talked about it yesterday, and it might have came out after we concluded our show. But in terms of the NFL draft, we talked about some of the names that are coming back. We'll piggyback off of that. But Chase Reed, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you probably already saw this, but a big name ended up returning to school. Now, not to hit the portal, but just to go back, and that's Dante Moore, quarterback out of Oregon. Now, does that really have anything to do with us over here on the Alabama side of things? Not really, but it does somewhat impact a former Alabama player in Ty Simpson, who, in my opinion now, Chase, definitely is fighting for probably that number 2 quarterback spot. You know, before it was everybody was expecting Mendoza and Dante Moore, your top 2 players. Then there was probably that fight for 3, which a lot of people were probably pushing Ty in that spot. I mean, I know you still have players like Carson Beck, who's still playing right now, scheduled to play in this national championship game next week. But, you know, right now, I feel like Ty Simpson's name is coming up in that conversation a lot more than some of the others. Mateer, even guys that had a lot of hype, Klubnik going into the season that didn't necessarily live up to those expectations. But that said, now Dante Moore, who was widely regarded as at least the number 2 quarterback in this upcoming NFL draft, he announced that he's going to return to school. So that definitely has a big effect on Ty Simpson, who now, in my opinion, probably is a pretty solid lock to be a first-round pick. It's always hard to say that when you talk about the NFL draft because literally anything can happen. I mean, you could literally go be scheduled for a physical and something pops up that they don't like on there. Maybe if he has a quarterback, there's like an elbow thing that seems a little off, and that could – you just never know. But in terms of just right now, Ty's grade, I would assume, fellas, is probably about as sure as a first-round pick as it's probably been, other than back to maybe week 5 or 6 when he was, you know, playing his best ball. So definitely good news if you're Ty Simpson or, you know, in his camp, right? Because, I mean, listen, you made the decision to enter the NFL draft. Now it's, you know, probably a good shot that you end up being a first-round pick, which is always nice, which that means we'll continue our tradition of first-rounders here in Tuscaloosa, which is always cool. But again, nothing guaranteed, just some thoughts on that. But again, speaking of thoughts, we're going to give you plenty of thoughts, and I also want to get y'all's thoughts on everything going on. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program. We always encourage you to get on the phone lines. Yesterday, we went literally like the whole time we went phone lines, which is cool, and I want to continue that. We only got one guest scheduled at 11:30. Outside of that, we're pretty open. So we'd love to get y'all's thoughts on how everything's taking shape. Again, 2 days remaining with the portal being open. Still can get players after that, but no players can then go in the portal, which I guess is actually good news as well, because you don't have to worry so much about your guys. If anybody was kind of on the fence about that, you can kind of seal the deal there. They're locked in for the 2026 season, because again, this is new now. They went back to only one. I don't even know if they went back. There might have always been two. I don't know, but they changed it so there's only one portal window. So I know a lot of people were, including myself, before this whole thing got changed, I wasn't even clear on everything. Before it was like you had this window, and then you also had the spring window after spring ball, but that's no longer. So once the portal is closed, it's closed. That's who you're rocking with for the rest of the year, unless there's guys that are in the portal that you go and grab. So we'll talk about some updates with the roster, some expectations, some of these guys on visits, how that might look, how this roster can take shape, and what we expect Alabama to do in the final days remaining. All that coming up. But first, we got to hit our first timeout, and when we come back, we dive right into it. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Don't go anywhere. We're just getting started. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle.
What's up, guys? Joey, who else is in here? Let's see. We got Joey. We got Bama Gump. I cannot speak well today. I'm sorry. I didn't listen. The last few days, I have not slept great. I'm just gonna be honest with you. We had the OutKick thing yesterday morning, so I was prepping for that, doing all that, and then with this portal stuff, guys, I've been like going and going. So bear with me, man. Bear with me. I feel like I'm like tongue tied today. So let me find my groove, and then I should be good. But I am all over the place. We got Jake. What's up? Delegati. Is that how you pronounce his last name? That's a pretty cool name. Delegati. Dope. Visiting today. Green visiting tomorrow. Have to sign them. Delegati is the center, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. I like the center, the small school center. I think he's a good player. From what we got to see on tape, I think he's a good player. And you just feel better about a guy like that. He's played a lot more. I know people have high expectations for the kid from Michigan, the young guy, not Haywood, but the Strayhorn. But I would feel a lot more comfortable when we're talking about the offensive line. I'd feel a lot more comfortable bringing some guys in with some experience. Let Strayhorn and some of these young guys compete. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they beat somebody out. But you heard my whole spiel yesterday. I don't want to over-rely on a bunch of young players, especially on the offensive line, because listen, what are the main things we talked about this whole offseason so far? What needs to be better? The trench play. Just think it'd be kind of malpractice to think we need to improve like dramatically in that area, and we just over rely on young guys. So hopefully that's not, and hopefully that doesn't end up being the case. Oh, Mike, you almost got me. It's up Friday Eve. I was like, man, is it Friday? My days are already mixed up. What's up, Mike? You Kenji? Let's go get the dogs to take your milk money with their moms watching. Yeah, we do need some dogs, man. We definitely do. We need to dive back into some tape too, so hopefully we can do that at some point. Linebacker from Ole Miss would be a great get. Sounds like LSU, but who knows? Bring back Weeks, but if we get him on campus, strap him in a chair and get him signed. Oh, man, you're giving me flashbacks to when I just made the comment that I felt like we dropped the ball. Everybody's like, oh, that's what people thought I meant. Oh, you just want to strap him in a chair? I'm like, no, man. Like, tell me you don't know how to speak or you don't have a mouthpiece without telling me you don't have a mouthpiece. I'll say this: that guy he's undersized though. He's not a big dude. I don't know if I like the fit, Jake, with him, honestly. If you're talking about playing like a weak side type deal, kind of like Justin Jefferson, cool. But the problem is we just already got that guy from Virginia Tech. I feel like he's very much that same type of player. I feel like what we're lacking is a little bit more of a bigger physical backer. So we'll see. But, I mean, good players are good players. You can't have enough of them. You can definitely find a role, carve something out. I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but like I said, my impression is we need to get more physical on defense and on the offensive line, but we need to be more physical. We need to be stronger, more imposing. And I haven't seen us land somebody just yet that fits that mold, in my opinion. So hopefully we can snatch somebody up in the next couple days, week, 2 weeks, whatever it takes, man. Kimberly, what's up? Terrence Green from Oregon looks like a nice ad. I'll tell you guys who I like. We're about to come back from break. I'll tell you exactly who I like. Don't know if it happens. Probably not going to happen, but I'll tell you. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. All right, let's dive into it, man. Transfer portal updates. The portal has resumed. I mean, it never really stopped. I guess it just had that dead period where things slowed down and visits and things weren't, I guess, permitted. Now they're back going. So Alabama is expected to be hosting a number of folks. There's some offensive linemen that are definitely visiting, which is good. We've talked about it. Like the potential of the guys that we've brought in, but I definitely feel like you got to get some experience, man. We desperately need some experience, and I think they're still trying to address that. I know the smaller school center, I like him. You know, seeing his tape, I liked it. I think he definitely is a guy that can, you know, regardless of the school he comes from, just, you know, his player profile. I like him. I think he'd be a good fit. I think you could plug him in here. He definitely could compete, more than likely end up being a starter on this offensive line. And I think it would be exactly what we need. That's why I tell everybody, I couldn't tell you where that guy ranks in the transfer portal, nor do I care. I just know from what I saw, he moves well. He likes to finish blocks. He's solid in pass pro. And he plays center. That's a big area of need. And he's got experience. So hopefully we can close on some of these guys. I'm expecting us to probably make some announcements over the next couple of days for sure of some pickups, right? Because again, we talked about the portal is kind of coming to a close. I know these guys want to find homes as well. They don't want to just be sitting there, because the longer you sit there, I mean, it's probably not a great feeling, because I don't know if people realize this, Chase and Reed, but there's going to be a lot of guys that don't get picked up. Now, what happens to those guys? Honestly, I have no idea. I guess they just get like sucked in the vortex of the portal and they just never play again. I don't know. But I'd imagine you probably want to get stuff figured out as quick as possible. So offensive line, definitely a big priority. I know there's a defensive lineman from Oregon who's supposed to be on a visit. Listen, I think we need a lot of help on the defensive line. I know a lot of people are good with just two guys that we have right now, but listen, we need some reinforcements, guys. We really do. I haven't got a chance to watch him, the young man from Oregon, just yet. I'd be glad to dive into his tape with you guys. We can watch him together. But I want to say he seemed a little undersized somewhat. I mean, I think he was taller, but like 270 something. So he's not huge. But listen, we can work with that. Get him in the weight room program, all that. Put some pounds on him. I think he could probably be fine. But we desperately need some help on the interior defense line, but also somewhat on the borderline edge now that you look at the bandit position and where that's at. I know a lot of people ask my thoughts on the young man from Washington that's from Birmingham. Again, if I'm just being completely honest, I think he's more of a depth kind of piece, right? Maybe down the road type of deal. Wait, sorry, I'm reading the chat. They're saying Oregon guy 6'5", 330. Maybe I'm thinking of another Oregon guy then. If that Oregon guy, because Oregon had like a handful of guys on the defensive line that hit the portal. If that's the one that's visiting us, then I'm all for it, because we need help at nose and interior defensive line. So I hope you guys are right on that. The one that I saw, and I guess I'm mixing them up, but he was like 6'something", 270. And maybe I'm all these names and players in the portal, guys. I apologize if I mix it up. So I hope that's the case. Someone asked about Damon Wilson from Missouri. I don't know. I honestly don't see it happen. I could be wrong, but I haven't heard anything that indicates that. Is, I mean, huge. I mean, that's better than any portal news that you really could throw at me, right? Because I mean, you're talking about your leader in sacks, returning a guy that to me had really come on, especially later in the year, and I think he's scheduled for a breakout year. I guess technically this year probably would have been considered a breakout year, but I think next year for Yanze Pierre, I think he could have a huge type of year. Like not only on just numbers and production, but really just taking his game to the next level. I mean, you could just see the evolution of his game throughout the course of this season, him getting more comfortable and confident and I mean, I'm just watching him, from a pass rush standpoint, and you could just clearly tell he started to let loose a little bit more, and I think he's only going to build off of that. So I'm excited about getting him back. We talked about Bray and also Keon Sabb. The good news was we got the official news of him signing. Talking about Yonsei, and that's why I told you guys just wait till Yay Alabama officially announced it, because I do know at the time of us talking about it, nothing was officially signed, and that's why I said let's just wait, because I know they still are working some things out. That got worked out, which is great. He's locked in. I haven't seen a formal announcement for Keon Sabb just yet, so we'll wait and see. But we'll definitely be on the lookout. But the good news is, I was thinking about this, guys, before we hit this timeout. We were joined by Brandon Clear, former Clemson receiver. Defensively, man, if we can find a way, on the last few days to really shore up that defensive line we'll just say front seven, because it's linebacker position too. Front seven is critical. If you look at the back end, we pretty much return like everybody. I mean, Damani Jackson graduated, but in terms of, if you look at the corner spots, you got Dejon Lee, you've got Xavier Brown. I know you had a couple guys at the portal like Cam Calhoun, but you still have Red Morgan. So, I mean, if you look at the guys that really started, you lost some depth, but Red Morgan at Husky. Then you look at the safeties, you got Bray coming back. Once Keon Sabb officially signs, we'll throw him in there. Mincy also coming back. So literally across the back end, you're solid there. And those guys play some damn good football. Front seven, man, and we know how key this is. And this is why I just keep reminding you guys, we complain about, we need to shore these things up. We need to make sure we finish strong in that department, because even from not even just the defensive line, but from a linebacker standpoint as well. I feel like there's some question marks remaining, and I just think it would be a lot better of a situation if we can finish strong and get some guys with some experience in some of those holes versus not. But we'll have to wait and see. So those are just kind of some quick updates. We got to hit a timeout. We come back. We'll be joined by Brandon Clear. We'll get his thoughts on all this, and I'll make sure I get my names and I guess people right, because I think I'm mixing up two Oregon guys. But regardless, we're going to pull up the tape. We'll watch them, talk about how they fit in. We'll do all that like we like to do right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Who would you like to see from who is best available? Your biggest want? I'll be honest. I don't know half of these dudes that are even in the portal, man. I'll be honest. Like, this is a lot different than like the NFL, where you know a lot of these dudes. A lot of these guys in the portal are like depth pieces, and I don't keep up recruiting. So I can't even tell you, Joey. I don't have like a list of I have a list of holes that we need to fill, and that's what I go off of. And then when guys pop up, I try to look them up. I've been so busy with a number of different things. I didn't get a chance to really dive into Money. What's up, man? To look into these guys extensively. I thought I read something about the Oregon guy that was coming here was like 270, but maybe I read two different things. I do know that the linebacker from Ole Miss, I saw him play just like watching him, and he's a good player. However, he is a little undersized. I want to say he's like 225 or so. And I just know sometimes, like, if you go back and watch, he can get kind of swallowed up a little bit because he's not the biggest backer. But he's got a lot of experience. He's played, in the SEC, very productive. Definitely wouldn't be mad at taking a guy like that. I just feel like he kind of, fits the same kind of bill as maybe the guy from Virginia Tech that we just brought in. Green ranked as a third defensive tackle in the portal. Okay, so the Oregon guy we're bringing in who was the guy I was looking at? What's the other guy's name? Do y'all know? If it's that Oregon guy, then man, shoot, please sign me up, because that's exactly what the hell we need. Now I need to watch him though, but I'm saying in terms of from a size standpoint, man, we need some more beef up front, man, and like some true noses. Look at our noses right now. We don't really. You got Beeman, who I think is like 320. He's a bigger guy for sure, but They had Simmons playing a lot of nose. I think he's more fit to be a 3 technique. Edric Hill's not a nose. He's definitely more of a 3 tech. All right, so Terrence Green was the one I was thinking of, but the guy that's on the visit here is – or wait, I'm confused. Let me just look it up. Let me look it up. My bad, guys. Let me see. I feel like Oregon lost like they're damn near their whole defensive line. So I know they had a handful of – not a handful, but they had a number of edge guys hit the portal. Let me just pull this up. Let's just look up the transfer portal. I appreciate you guys getting me square on that, though. Do I have another year of eligibility? Shit, I wish. What these dudes are getting paid to hit the portal. Hey, listen.
7.52.
I got some third down snaps, and we need some pass rush. Listen, I'm good for about 6 or 7 sacks, if not more. Just keep me fresh, man. I ain't trying to go close on that counter, but you need me coming off the edge on third down. I got you. But hell, I had 5 years already. I mean, maybe I could get a medical. I missed a lot of time my junior year with my biceps injury, so I don't know. Maybe we can get a medical, guys. I don't know. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Talking portal updates again. The portal has picked back up. There was a dead period. Now it's back, fresh, open, and alive. You got visits going on. Plus, you only got 2 days remaining for guys to hit the portal. So I guess the clock is ticking, you could say. And we got somebody on the clock, former Clemson wide receiver Brandon Clear, who joins us on Thursdays now. Brandon, welcome in, man. How you been holding up with all this news and everything being thrown at you every 5 minutes, it seems like?
Christian, hey, good morning, Miller's Edge family. I'm so happy to be here again. It's been a whirlwind, man. Every time I'm taking a look over at my Twitter or X, figuring out exactly who's visiting where, who's decided to enter into the portal. A lot to keep up with, but, you know, I'm still hopeful. We got 2 days left.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Two days of people being able to join in, but I mean, technically, somebody asked us in the chat, and I wasn't 100% sure. Maybe somebody knows, or maybe you know, Brandon. The deadline is if there is one for people to actually make their decisions, right? Like I know you can sit in the portal past the deadline to enter your name in the portal, but is there a deadline to actually sign with a school? Do you know that, Brandon, by chance? If not, no worries. I just was curious.
No, it's a great question. So from my understanding, you can be in the portal as long as you're in there until someone picks you up. Mm-hmm. And again, just to get your name in there before tomorrow is the deadline. And unless there's a coach that decides to exit at the last minute, which again will open up a portal for that specific team. Other than that, everyone that's in the portal's in there until they either get picked up or they decide on their location.
Okay, well, that's what I was thinking. I was under the impression it was pretty much however long it takes, but when somebody asked that question, I was like, man, that actually might be interesting. Maybe they've added something or there is something in there. But no, that makes perfect sense. Well, tell me this, Brandon, where are you at with everything? I mean, where we stand right now, let's start there. Now, Alabama's kind of had a little bit of a roller coaster of a portal experience thus far, right? I mean, I feel like we started off some name, like in the early days, some names hitting, coming up for us, and then kind of hit a little bit of a dry spell, missed on some of the names many fans were hoping to maybe get, had the flip. And now where we stand, we had, some, what was it, like a day where we had 3 commitments in a day. Then now we're kind of figuring back out, all right, who's next? So where do you stand with everything? When you look at who we've been able to sign so far, are there any more needs that you're really focused in on? Where are you at with everything, Brendan?
Great question. So for me, I would have to say the primary objective is get someone in the depth for the bandit position. We've got a bunch of young guys that have some potential. We lost a ton of depth there. And so, Christian, I guess I have to kind of flip it around and pose a question over to you. Is their exit because of the scheme, or was it just, again, they found a better opportunity? And for me, I'm kind of leaning towards it's probably a mix of both. LT Overton is a prime example of someone that was able to come in and he was a true bandit. And again, he was playing out of position at Texas A&M. And now we've got Jordan Knob that just decided to leave. And we've got these guys that, again, I think Keon Keeley is unique in that he was originally committed to Notre Dame coming out, right?
Yeah.
And he ended up switching and coming over to Bama. And he waited his time, and that's where the frustration from the fans come and say, hey, we invested time, money, giving you an opportunity to really shine through, because they could have cut bait a while ago because it was slower time for him to develop, and that's not the typical time frame for a 5-star in this new portal era. So
Right.
I was a little bit surprised that he left. So from your perspective, do you think it's scheme related, or do you really think it's truly based on people getting, poked in there and they're saying they're going to have some more money for him that Bama just was unwilling to match?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I'll be completely honest with you without sharing too much. I'll say this. I know it varies per guy, but there definitely were some guys that hit the portal that were a little more concerned with scheme, how they might have been being played. You know what I mean? Like, just wanting to make sure they're in the best position possible to accomplish all the things that they want to accomplish. That's a fact. I know there also probably were some guys that, they just maybe feel like they needed a fresh start. Like, I look at Keon Keeley and I feel like that definitely, fits the bill with him. Like, I don't think it necessarily was him chasing money. I mean, I know for a fact, they wanted to retain him. However, I feel like you just mentioned it. I mean, he had an interesting journey. And while I thought he was just finally turning the corner and really we're kind of putting things together, because when all these people were kind of calling for him to be on the field, no, he should have been out there. I mean, I was knowing really what was going on behind the scenes, and he just wasn't ready. I mean, it just was a fact. But I felt like he finally, and really was kind of him being pushed into more action because of some injuries. But I felt that it was showing that, hey, man, while he still might be kind of connecting some dots and putting the pieces together, he can at least show that he'll find himself around the football. Now, he still was having to get better from a standpoint of, sometimes playing the run, he didn't hold up great, or sometimes not understanding exactly what he should have been doing out there. I mean, he didn't have a great grasp of it, his role sometimes. And I know it's tough because they've moved him around. So I think with him, that was more like he probably just wanted a fresh start and maybe just felt, hey, Notre Dame might be a better fit for me at this point, which I think is fair. But with some of the other guys, I'll be honest with you, man. I really don't. I know it's easy for people to assume that it was about money, but for a number of these players, it really wasn't necessarily about money. I think it was a combination of, similar to what we just talked about with Keon, maybe like a scheme or just how they're being played type deal. But also, I almost feel like this staff, I mean, in the writing's kind of on the wall. I feel like with some of these guys, they were okay with letting them walk. And to me, that just shows that their philosophy might be leaning into, they kind of want to just get some of their players that they feel like, maybe fit what they want to do, which is fair. I mean, that's a lot of coaches tend to do that. The timing of it for me just kind of seems a little bit off, just knowing that, year 3, I feel like is an important year for this staff. And I just feel like it's a little bit somewhat risky maybe to have such an overhaul, especially when you have guys. I know they weren't the most productive necessarily when you look at their stats, but you're at least talking about veteran players that have played a lot of football. Right now, with what we've brought in, I feel like there's a lot of inexperience. And I just don't know. I mean, you're relying a little bit on youth right now in a year that I think it could be really important. And to me, I'm like, man, it's sure up. Let's talk about the defense. As sure up as that secondary is, I just feel like, man, if you could just find yourself a front 7 that can take care of business. I mean, that's the biggest thing. That defense has a chance to be one of the better defenses, but you're kind of stripping it down by losing so many guys, and you're kind of trying to piece it back together with right now what looks like a whole bunch of inexperience and new faces. So I'm just curious how that's going to play out. Hopefully it works out, extremely well. I mean, to me, that's more of a recipe for a lot of growing pains, some continued inconsistencies on the defensive front, especially with the front 7, which we've been talking about for the last couple of years. But you just have to trust their judgment and hope that, what their game plan is ultimately the right one. But to answer your question, yeah, I think some guys probably just feel like they might be a better fit elsewhere. And I can understand. I mean, the scheme has kind of shifted a good bit, right? Because you go from Coach Saban being that 2-gap system, it's a lot different than with Kane. He comes in and it's kind of been a little bit of back and forth. I mean, sometimes it's more of a penetrating type mentality. Others, it seems like they're trying to get guys to 2-gap. And I just feel like, I think he needs to probably just kind of, really double down on what he wants to do with his system. To me, I just feel like there's not like a clear identity at times within this defense. And I personally think that's part of the reason some of these guys didn't feel the most confident.
Yeah, and again, I think that highlights a lot of the concerns I have. And we can take it back a little bit. You remember in 2019 when they had Christian Harris and Shane Lee, promising young linebackers, tons of talent, and they were getting killed, right? Just because they didn't understand how to, one, play fast while also not thinking, which is always a challenge at Nick Saban's scheme. But then it's also, again, it's the physicality of playing, just going up a level. So you don't know where a lot of these guys have played. Maybe they played 5A ball. A lot of them have probably played top-tier ball if they're over at IMG. There's still a significant jump into the college ranks. And now you take in consideration that you've got a lot of these guys that are super seniors that were COVID kids, that all of a sudden they got a year, and then you got the JUCO guys getting a year plus, and now you're playing against grown men. And so Indiana is the quintessential, hey, we're taking advantage of the loopholes, right? So we got guys on the team that are 23. The average age of Indiana is 23. And so you have older guys that've been there, done that. They have consistency and chemistry that is hard to replicate. And so when you have a bunch of young players on the field, the biggest thing you have is making sure they're at the right place at the right time in a new scheme. So, again, I know that Caden Jones has a lot of ability. Luke Mertz, and I think QB Reese is somebody that's very interesting because of his background. And, again, he comes from a football family. He seems like he's a sharp guy. He's willing to hit. I don't want to rely on young players because you need a field general, specifically in the middle linebacker position. That guy's calling your defense. And so I know a lot of people are excited about the linebackers coming in from Virginia Tech. I'll be honest, I think he has a lot of potential, but you can tell he's a safety. It'd be like if you were moving Bray Hubbard into the box. Of course, Bray is going to have some ability to play in the box, but he looks like a safety playing in the box. He's not a linebacker. And so the Virginia Tech transfer, he looks like he's almost Bray Hubbard coming into the box, and he's learning how to play linebacker. It's just different. Different bodies coming at you. You got pullers coming at you. You have to be able to make sure you're identifying the gaps, and the gap can change based off of exactly how the center and how the guard are pulling. It's just all of the things you don't even have to think about playing. Maybe he was playing strong safety or free and he moved into the linebacker spot. It's just one of those things that I don't think it's as easy as a transition a lot of people try to make it seem. So, again, can he come in, learn a new scheme, and then also making sure he's playing fast, getting his teammates lined up, and then they have to trust you. So there's a trust component that, again, Lawson had, right? He commanded the room. He was one of the captains on the team. And so I don't know what you do for the intermediary. Maybe you have Bray Hubbard calling the defense. Ed Reed is a prime example of someone that had the smarts, but he was also playing with Ray Lewis. But if you get the chance, Christian, I encourage all of the listeners to go and look at Ed Reed breakdown film. He does it on offense and defense. He's a savant. He's someone that understands exactly why it's happening, where certain people should be. He understands exactly what the quarterback is looking at. He's understanding what the OC is trying to do with setting up different looks. And so having that type of mind, and I think Bray Hubbard is that because he's a former quarterback. So you got to be able to have someone that's smart, but you also have to have somebody that's physically able to be in that box. Henry To'oTo'o was one of those guys that I think he was very smart. He was a hard worker. Physically, I didn't think that he was as imposing because he just wasn't a big guy. So he would get run over a bunch, and people are like, why is he playing? It's because he's at the right place. He knows the scheme. He plays fast. And, of course, he would get bodied up, but the coaches trusted him. And so you're seeing him, look, he's playing with the Texans, man. He's doing good work. But he has limitations because of his physical ability. So I'm looking at this team. I think we have guys that are physical marvels that have some opportunity to be able to get in there, but I don't rely on young guys to start the season off. I think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and that's all I've been trying to express because I just try to be honest with people because, again, I mean, that's my credibility, right? I try to do it in a fair way that, I don't want to, upset people, but at the end of the day, I just got to shoot people straight. And I see what you're seeing and the fact that, over-relying on youth, just like you mentioned, Indiana, man, I mean, it can work, but it typically takes time. And I just know right now, a lot of fans, they might not really want to hear that or might even care to listen to that. But I guarantee when the game comes around, they start seeing, some things that are frustrating on the field. But then that's kind of it's a byproduct of playing a lot of young players. And that's why I think it should be critical right now to find a way to get some more experience in this on this team, on this roster. And to your point about Henry To'oTo'o, I try to tell people all the time, I love him, man. He's a great dude. when he was here. You know, it was quick for people to beat up on him and say, man, well, he does this or he missed this and he overran this. And I was like, guys, he is playing because he is a true Mike backer. He is the signal caller of that defense. Coach Saban's system, which I played in 5 years, I know it, you know, like the back of my hand. It requires somebody to really be that guy to navigate everything, to be that quarterback of the defense, to get everybody lined up, to get the checks going, to get the front lined up, right, to get them set, to talk and communicate on the back end with the secondary guys on the coverages. And he was, you know, phenomenal at that. And I knew he was going to, you know, be a good NFL player. And that's why you're seeing he started as a rookie in the NFL, and he's playing some damn good football with the Texans. And probably also in part due to having DeMeco Ryans as his head coach, man. Really good football coach. You also played at the position both at Alabama and for the Texans as well. But yeah, I'll say this, man. You know, it's an interesting approach right now, but who knows? Maybe their goal is to finish strong with a lot more experience. But I don't know. I mean, let me ask you this, because I see both sides of it, Brandon. It's like on one end, if you're gearing up for maybe, you know, the long term, right? This play could definitely be in your best interest. I think 2027 could feel like a even better year in terms of these young guys that we have having a lot more experience, and then, you know, you really being set up for a big run. But right now, it's almost like, man, you might be in store for a little bit of turbulence maybe this year before next. But do you feel like there is pressure in year 3, or do you feel like right now everything's kind of just like, all right, we're planning on the long term, like this staff shouldn't really even be worried about that? Because for me, Brandon, I find it hard to believe, like, while that should be the case, we all should just be patient. And I know it takes time. It took Mario Cristobal a number of years to kind of get things marinated in his system going. It took, I mean, a lot of these coaches, a lot of time, Ryan Day, several years to really kick it into overdrive. But do you feel like with the standard that is set here at Alabama, this staff could afford year 3 that, let's just say again, hypothetically, like a 3-loss regular season type deal, and, you know, you maybe get in, maybe don't get in. If it's one of those years, do you think they can afford to have something like that? Or do you think there might be a little bit more pressure than some people might realize?
So I got to be honest with you, there's a ton of pressure. So right now I am a tech consultant, right? So I do tech project management. And the biggest thing when you're managing a project, which is a team, you have cost, you have time, you have schedule. Mm-hmm. On Alabama side, unfortunately, the reason why Miami has the ability to wait is because they have deep pockets. So they have the ability to keep that guy that may be second, third on the depth chart happy because he's hungry for playing time, but as long as he's getting a paycheck, he's okay. Alabama has to be very conservative and diligent with how they're expending their funds. So they'll pay players, right? Everyone knows they'll pay a player. There's a reason why we have a high retention rate, but they also have to balance that against production. They don't have the luxury to wait on someone to develop and pay them at the same time. Keon Keeley is an anomaly because they saw flashes the way they were willing to do that, but that's not consistent. There's always outliers. And so because it's year to year, you don't have time to project out. In the past, you did. You had Nick Saban was able to wait 3 to 4 years to play a guy because most of the time, where was he going to go that was better than Alabama? And all he would need is 1 year of production to really get the opportunity to play at the next level. Now guys are saying, I want to play. Oh, and by the way, I want my money. And so you invest the time in there, right? So that's the time component. And you've invested funds in there, but you're not on their schedule. So then you have people that are, again, Ty Simpson is a prime example of people not honoring the rule of not contacting people that have not entered into the transfer portal. He wasn't in the transfer portal. How does he have all those offers? And then he was naming them, right? You know, look, he wasn't trying to snitch, but it is.
He was exposing them quick. Yeah, he put the names out there. He wasn't even trying to protect it. He said, Ole Miss, yep, and then Tennessee. And then, you can't forget about Miami, 6.5. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He ain't slick.
Oh, yeah. Like over there, you know, look, what is the NCAA not going to do a thing about it? So everyone's expecting the clearinghouse to do something. They have no rank. So, again, you have the Texas A&Ms, you got the Texas, Oregon, people with deep pockets. They can pay who they want, when they want, and keep them. There's a reason why Dylan Raiola is going over there to sit for a year. You hear some of the numbers that are coming out for the guy that's returning that starting quarterback, you'll be like, I'd come back too. He's about to make over $10 million, allegedly. Look, those types of numbers are stuff that Alabama just won't be able to do. And so you have to almost bank on guys honoring the script A. And so if it starts losing its luster and we're not producing on the field and guys don't feel like they're getting the chance to be able to go to the next level, that's when you start seeing the mass exodus. I don't think we're at that scare level yet because I'm seeing them develop guys. I look at Dijon Lee. I look at some of these Xavier Brown. So these are guys that they had an opportunity to mold. And so that's also coaching. And that's why it is critical, Christian. I'm not calling for Coach Cap to lose his job. I sent you a video on X on the other side and just showing you when a guy knows what he's talking about, a former OL that played at the highest level, that understands technique, it looks different. I'm watching these high schoolers. He's coaching these high schoolers, and I'm watching how they're pulling, how they're double teaming. I'm like, this is not anything that Alabama's doing. So if I have to see this as a consistent level of saying I haven't seen this for years, it has to be on coaching because they're allowing it. So they need, I'm not saying calling for Coach Cap's job. I don't know if they need to bring in an outside consultant to come in and view practices. I don't know if they need to run coordinator. They've got to do something different. And I'm concerned that, look, I'm not calling for Freddie Roach either because I think that he also had the challenge of dealing with, didn't have the same type of tools to work with some of the guys that he had to coach up. That's my read on it. I think Freddie is a great coach. But you can ask the question saying, hey, we're not seeing the productivity at certain levels, at certain spots. Why is that? So they've got the guy, Terrence Green. That's who's coming in for Oregon. He's 6'5", 330. I don't care what he's been coached up to do. That's a big body. You sign him, right? Like, just get the big bodies in. Let's see how things hash themselves out. And Devin Tompkins, we talked about him. That's the USC transfer. I think they're going to move him to Bandit. I don't think he has the twitch to be able to really bend off the edge or do anything that's going to cause havoc. But there is a chance for him to be able to help on the run splits because he has some size. But they also need to make sure that they're getting bigger bodies up front. Freshmen are not going to – there's always the Will Anderson, again, outlier. The average offensive defensive lineman, they need at least 2 years to wait and develop. It looks different on film. Justin Hill, I thought he did a really good job. He was playing outside linebacker. He did a really good job on run fits, but you could tell that he was doing exactly what they told him to do. Now the next step in his evolution is making the play. So, hey, they told me to set the edge. I set the edge. Oh, there's a running back. Okay, I'll set the edge. Now let me go make a play. I don't need to just hold the edge and allow my other teammate to come up and try and make a play. I need now to make the play. But as a freshman, you're just trying to make sure you're not screwing up and not having a reason for the coach to take you off the field. So the coach, this is going to be because it's now completely on Kalen DeBoer to make sure that he has the right coaches in these positions to get these guys ready to play. And if he relies on these young players, it will expose coaching. So if he's going to do this route, I got to give him all the credit, man. He's a great guy. He's a proven winner. Allow him to go do it his way. So if he wants to rely on his coaches and say, we've got young talent and let's prepare for the future, allow him to do that path. I don't think that's a recipe for success all the time because I'm looking at how Indiana and Miami are doing it. It's different because they've got senior level talent that is driving their team. And they've got a couple of spots, like the kid Tony, they're coming in, they can make the splashes, but they're not relying on that solely.
Exactly. I know. I think you're spot on. And that the way you're seeing it exactly is how I've been seeing it and just trying to just express that again. Just like you said, it's not impossible. It's just statistically or just going, if you just know the game and you really look at it, I mean, it's a hard task to do, to rely on that type of roster. And then in my opinion, in a very important year at that, to me, year 3 for any head coach is always important. And again, we're taking steps in the right direction. I just know, just like Coach Saban said, I mean, we're at the University of Alabama. I mean, Alabama fans can sit here right now in the offseason. It's easy to say, oh, no, we're good playing the patient game. But we all know. We said, look what happened, how the response was this last year. We made it to an SEC championship game and the playoffs. And people still were, frustrated for a number of things. So that's part of being at Alabama. That's all I'm saying. So I agree with exactly what you're saying. That was the other thing I was going to tell you that you mentioned that you're spot on. The linebacker from Virginia Tech, you said it best. It's clear that he's a former defensive back when you watch him. And that's why I keep telling folks that We have to get us a true Mike backer, like a true thumper, a physical guy that's a commander in the middle. Right now, even the people they're asking me about the Ole Miss kid, very productive player, SEC experience. However, he's smaller. He's not very physical.
Yes,
and that's
he is.
my thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? You see him get pushed around in the box. Like, I'm just saying, for all we've talked about and heard that Alabama needs to get back to physical dominant football, a lot of the moves we've seen thus far, like the tape that I've been breaking down, like whether it's the Washington guy, even the Mississippi State guy, or the Southern Cal guy. Again, I think they're all bodies, like you mentioned, players that you can put in there. You definitely get some good reps out of them, but it honestly kind of feels like it's not really in line of what I thought the direction would be that we would be going, given how we played the last couple of years. But again, you just got to trust their judgment, and we'll see. I definitely think it's a little bit of a risk, but we'll see if it pays off, and we'll keep covering it. But hey, Brandon, listen, you phenomenal as always, man. Everybody in the chat loves it per usual, and I appreciate you coming on here, offering your expertise. Always very well said and very knowledgeable. So we appreciate your time, brother.
Hey, Christian, I appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to Mark Ingram. He's getting College Football Hall of Fame. I want an underrated running back, all-time favorite for the Crimson. Again, man, shout out to him. Congratulations to he and his family, and roll tide. Thank you, Christian, for having me.
Yes, sir. Always, Brandon. Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver. As you hear, man, great dude, right? So we let it slide that he's a former Clemson Tiger, even though I can't stand that school. But I love Brandon, man. Great dude. So big shout out to him. Always enjoy getting his thoughts here on the Miller's Edge. We got to hit this top of the hour break, but don't go anywhere. We're not. We're going to be right back for hour number 2 after this quick timeout. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. All right. Yeah, that was Brandon. His name's Brandon Clear. Y'all can check him out on X. Let me see what his handle is, but he's from Birmingham, but he played at Clemson, played wide receiver before transferring to was it Illinois? But real cool dude, man. Has a lot of great stuff to offer in terms of his insight of the game. Keeps up with a lot of the stuff going on, so we enjoy getting him on here, man. We need a linebacker with neck roll. That's what I'm saying, Smitty. That's what I'm saying. We need like a thumper. We need a thumper, guys. Chris Jones, linebacker, led the Sun Belt. Major loss for Southern Miss. Is that the guy that's like built like a tank? And yes, whoever asked, yeah. So 99 on this Oregon tape right here is Terrence Green. I'm watching him for the first time, just like you guys. So and thanks for correcting me. I was mixing him up with another guy that they had that I thought that was the one that was on a visit here. Maybe I saw a different tweet or whatever it was. But that guy was like 270 something. I was like, another 3 technique. We really need help at nose. This guy is a nose with great length, great size, like Brandon said. Definitely needs to be coached up, right? Just like, and I just want to be clear, guys. A lot of these guys in the portal, just like I said yesterday, man, the more tape that you guys see with me, you'll understand. There's a reason these guys are in the portal, right? I mean, a lot of them are raw products. They're young, inexperienced, not very polished. There's going to be some guys that are dudes that are in the portal, but there's a good bit of these players in the portal that typically are going to they need to be molded a little bit, right? They're developmental guys. And that's kind of what I've been saying. Like a lot of the players that we've brought in have been really all developmental, except for maybe, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Virginia Tech guy, he's definitely got experience, but I still consider him developmental because he was a former DB, and I think he's still kind of learning the position at linebacker. But that's who I was going to bring up. The Florida State twins that entered the portal, like, you talking about having a need at Bandit, those dudes would fit the Bandit role perfect, man. Especially 93. Mondro, I think he's the one that his name starts with M, 93. But listen, that dude was a dog against us in that week 1 loss to Florida State. And I think him and his brother, they're twins, like 265 range, but they're physical players, have a great motor, great hand technique. I know this off the top of my head because I remember watching the tape back against Florida State. And I'm like, 93 is a true freshman playing like that. I'm like, that dude, he's going to be a top draft pick one day. Him and his twin brother just hit the portal. But the thing is, guys, I mean, I haven't heard anything regarding that. They're definitely going to be charging a good premium, I'd imagine, and they're a combo. So you can't just get, can't just get one. You got to get both. So you definitely got to go in that wallet. And to be clear, guys, I mean, we got money. We can spend money. It's just that we just always have had it, a little bit more conservative approach. That's just, how that's our philosophy, maybe. I don't know. But there you go, 99. Nice play right here. I think the biggest thing with him, with a lot of guys, right, when you're real tall, you got to work with play in lower pad level, right? Leverage is key, especially at that nose spot. Playing in the trenches is all about the lowest man, right? You always want to play with good leverage. I get it. It's hard. Hell, I had a problem with playing low. I used to be standing straight up. That was one of my biggest coaching points all the time. But it's a much better rep right here by him. Just got to keep working on playing low, but working off the block, making the tackle. But I just even as a developmental guy, man, 6'5", 330, great length at nose. Hell, we can definitely coach that. But I'm looking at other stuff too. This guy physical. Does he like really getting nasty in there? This guy's at least trying to come out his hips, firing off the football. Pad level would just take him a long way, but I was trying to find games that he played a good bit in because I think he was more of like a reserve guy or like rotational guy. But I saw that he had 2 tackles in this game. That's why I pulled up Iowa. Had that other, I think we had Indiana pulled up at first, but he wasn't, I don't think he really played in that one. Georgia had the same NIL approach as us. We had to find and pay physical guys. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, Smitty. Like, I want to have a guy pop up and then we pull up his tape and I'm just like, man, that dude's physical. Like, if we pull up 93's tape from Florida State, like the reaction would be totally different. I haven't had too many guys that we pulled up that I have that type of reaction. I'm just hoping we can. Yeah, he's holding up against Iowa a lot better than what's his name. Granted, he's bigger than what Tompkins, but yeah, he is though as of now. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. And big thanks to Brandon Clear, former Clemson wide receiver, joins us on Thursdays, 11:30 Central Time. And always good getting his thoughts. Really great delivery, man. He breaks it down in a great way, and always enjoy getting his insights. So big thanks to him. And also that means we're open on the phone lines, 205-342-9904. So if you guys want to join on the conversation, get y'all's thoughts. I'd love to hear it again. Portal back open. Well, it's been open, but the dead period is over. So that's what we're doing. We're discussing some of these potential names that we could be, I guess, hosting or even signed here in Tuscaloosa. Right now, we're watching some tape on Terrence Green, nose tackle out of Oregon. Big guy, nice length, 6'5", 330. Definitely would be much needed on a defensive line that I feel like we're lacking in the nose department. We didn't bring any. I think the guy from Mississippi State could probably play a little bit more nose. At Mississippi State, he played more 3 technique, 4-eye, even sometimes in those odd defenses. You see him in a 5. Won't be there with us, but probably could play some nose. But still, I think you could benefit from a body like Terrence Green. So I have more of an opinion, I guess, on him when we finish watching some of this. We haven't got far enough for me to add anything, but I will once I get to that point. But Chase, Reed, let's just kind of take a quick snapshot at where we're at since we've been doing this. We've been keeping up with Clint and his I guess roster breakdown. So here's where we're at with it, right? So offensive line still young there. There are some guys taking some visits. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. I think the young man, the center that's on a visit, that would be a big pickup. Would feel great about that because then that would leave you with Michael Carroll, Will Sanders, 2 guys that I'll be honest, I feel pretty solid with those 2 players on the offensive line, man. They showed some nice promises past season. We can build off of that. And so if you can get a center in here with some experience, which I liked his tape, that makes you feel good. That's 3 out of the 5 positions. Now we just got to make sure that the left tackle, one of the young guys is going to have to step up, which if you got to rely on at least one young guy, it is what it is. Or I guess you're still relying on more since other guys are also young, but you get my point. And then the other guard spot. So still some more activity to be seen. But I think somebody put a comment in here. We got a Yale wide receiver. Maybe we can pull him up coming on a visit. Very productive. Definitely still needs some more depth in that group. And if you can add a guy with experience and production like that, why not? We definitely will take it, because I think we sit at 6 scholarship wide receivers currently, with the addition of Noah Rogers out of NC State. So making some progress there, but still a lot of bodies that need to be added, Chase. Hey, Chase, do you have eligibility? I know you just graduated from Mississippi State, but you said you did track in high school, right? I mean, you think you could go run some routes for us, Chase? Did you play football? Do you have a football background or no?
Well, Chase walked out.
Of course he did. I tried to give him an offer.
Christian,
I'm trying to offer him a scholarship, dude.
I was about to say, Christian, I did play football, but I was more known for soccer. So I did more of the special teams, but I mean, we've already kind of went that route already. But I'll for sure have to ask Chase, because I mean, who knows? He might just be what Bama needs.
I can go be a warm body out there.
Well, who is that? Why? I mean, you played defensive line, didn't you?
I played a defensive end. I can at least be a warm body. You give me like $50K a year, and I'm happy.
$50K? Hold on, why? Hold on. That's a little bit of a start. You just got to start a little lower down there now. Why? I mean, $50K. I mean, that's a good. All right,
match my pay, and we're good.
Oh, okay, there we go. I'm just playing. I mean, for hell, if at this point we need all the help we can get, maybe we would drop a 50 ball on you just to listen. We need help at Bandit. If you think you can play some Bandit, why? While you're right here, let me ask your thoughts. I haven't talked to you in a minute. Give me your thoughts on where Alabama's at right now in terms of this whole portal thing. Not saying grade it or anything, but just kind of like your thoughts, like with who we've gotten, who you think we still need to add. And then if you have any information, I know you keep up with the visits and stuff, keep us in the loop on who all is expected to come in the next couple of days.
You've made some good additions. I think guys that can provide valuable reps. Don't know that I'd necessarily want to rely on some of these guys, out the gate. Like you were mentioning Caleb Woodson. I think he's a good player, but do I want him to be my green dot? Do I want him to be that guy in the middle that is commanding the defense and as a hitter? I don't know if he's the guy that I want in that spot. Devin Tompkins, I think, can be a good player, but do I want to rely on him immediately to be that starter at Bandit? Not entirely from what I've seen out of him. I think Noah Rogers is a good addition, and Ty Haywood, Caden Strayhorn on the offensive line, they played well in spurts for Michigan, who normally always has a really good offensive line. So maybe they've got good technique and they're coming in and can make some big splashes there. But I still think there's some additions that need to be made defensively up in the front 7, offensive line as well. And then would have loved to have Hollywood Smothers, but the monetary standpoint didn't seem like Alabama was going to be able to match what Texas was offering. So again, you're relying on some really young guys in a lot of key areas on the 26 roster. And like you mentioned, to me, this is a critical year for Kalen DeBoer in Alabama.
Yeah, it was. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me, because I thought everybody was in agreement that, like, yeah, this is a big year. And so when I was basing kind of my opinion off of, our activity in the portal and it not necessarily being in line with kind of what I thought the temperature was in the room, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping, because I know there's some people that kind of are under the belief like, oh, well, you got to give them time. And I completely agree. I've been one of the main ones saying, when a lot of people are quick to say, oh, we play like this, well, it's time to move. And I'm like, no, like let's be patient. Let's let it play out. But I also understand, like, in this new day and age in college football, I mean, like, we literally just a month ago, after some of the bad loss against Georgia and Indiana, I mean, like, there was definitely a conversation where fans went from hating Damian Harris, what he was saying, then kind of almost saying a lot of things he was saying. So I'm just like, man, it's interesting how it seems like the narrative just changes so much. But my point is, I thought that this would be a big year where they probably would say, hey, listen, if we're going to have this overhaul, let's go out and let's go get some dudes that we know we can bring in, and they're going to be able to play some damn good football for us and put us in positions, to win these big games. Because again, Alabama, and you said it, I remember we talked about this when that schedule came out. Alabama's schedule is no slouch. I mean, like, you're talking about, you're going against some really good quality football teams. And in my opinion, in my head, the way it works, Wyatt, I'm just like, I just feel like that's a little bit risky of a game you play going into those matchups with so much new blood. I mean, are you under that belief as well?
I am, and the scholarship limit it increased from 85 to 105 now. So I wasn't expecting them to fill out, the full 105 maybe this first season, but 77, that's really thin. And there's some guys that still have to take visits. I think Rayson Dalgatti, the center out of Cal Poly, who it's Cal Poly, so take it with a grain of salt, but Josh Cuevas came from there. So they can produce some ballers at least.
He had good tape though. He had good tape. We watched his tape. Yeah, he looks like a good player. So I'll be honest. I know the competition might not necessarily be as stiff as others, but I will say though, I mean, in terms of his player profile, I actually like him. I think that would be a good addition. But sorry, go ahead.
Well, and then I mean, we just saw Indiana beat the tar out of Alabama and Oregon with guys who played at D2 and JMU. So if you can ball, you can ball. I'm okay taking ball players who are really, really good from maybe some lower tier schools at that point. And then you got the receiver out of Yale who's taking a visit. I know Terrence Green. I liked what I saw. Would wish there was a little more consistency out of him, but I mean the flashes are there. I feel like we said that about every defensive lineman that's come through Tuscaloosa in the last 5 years, but flashes are there. Would like to see some consistency. And then you got the receiver out of Yale, who I can't remember his name right now, but he's got some good tape as well from what I've been able to see. So you've got guys, you've got some ball players out there. It's just consistency concerns me a little bit when you look at some of these guys, but maybe they get in, they get those starter reps, and then they make the jumps. I mean, we got more than 230 days until the first game. I mean, we got spring practice, summer workouts, fall camp that they got to go through. So maybe they do take a step up and become more consistent ball players. Nico Brown is the Yale wide receiver.
Okay, yeah, and I need to take a look at him. I haven't had a chance. We're watching this Terrence Green tape right now, and I'm with you again. I think it's what you expect out of a lot of these players, right? I mean, majority, probably 90% of these guys in the portal weren't like proven, starters with heavy production, unless they're coming from a small school. Majority of these guys from P4 schools that are in the portal aren't your big time starters that have a whole bunch of production. Normally, you're going to have to rely on development in that area. So it does make sense. But like I said, I just feel like we could benefit with us being so young from older, experienced guys. But it's interesting. I hadn't really seen a whole bunch of it, but
I agree. I mean, Caleb Downs isn't going to hit the portal every single year. Like that's an outlier situation. You're not going to have a major P4 starter hit the portal consistently like that. You've got guys who maybe have started games, but due to injury, maybe lost their starting spot, like a Quay Rousseau. James Smith is a guy that I really enjoyed. I really liked. He had plenty of flashes, but it seemed like the down-to-down consistency wasn't quite at the level that it needed to be. So, I mean, you're not going to see these major guys hit the portal. So you are going to have to rely on taking some starters from some lower tier schools or taking guys who rotated along the offensive and defensive line that did flash and making them more consistent players. And for the record, Nico Brown, I got the stats pulled up here. 71 catches, 1,085 yards, 11 touchdowns in 10 games in a very run-heavy offense at Yale. So, I mean, that's a little bit better production when you look at the wide receiver room, because offensively, Ryan Williams is your highest returning snap count on offense, and he's played 1,200 snaps in his career.
And oldest, right, in terms of experience. I mean, the oldest in that room is, 30-year guys. Noah Rogers and Ryan Williams both being
I think Ryan Williams is actually the most experienced guy on this offense now.
Which is crazy to think about, right? Like that's the type of youth we're talking about. So I just know, like I said, man, and I know I keep saying this last time I'll try, but with youth comes growing pains. So we just have to be prepared for potentially dealing with some of that, especially in the earlier part of the season. But on the bright side, and when you do look at some of the more, I guess the pieces that you have a little bit more confidence in, quarterback room, you got two guys that both signed to come back here and they're going to compete, which while they don't have experience, and that's definitely always I'm not going to call it a concern, but that's always a question mark, just because even I don't care how talented a guy is, it's easier to say, all right, a guy that's coming back that just led his team to the college football playoffs as a fourth-year guy, you feel a little bit more comfortable knowing exactly what you're getting versus an uber-talented guy that hasn't played consistent football. But you get my point. They still have a lot of talent in that room, and they got some reps this season, and I'm excited about that. The receiver room that you just mentioned, I think you can afford it. Listen, a guy from Yale, the good news about receivers, we've talked about this, it's a lot easier to translate, to a different level as a skill guy, especially at like wide receiver, than it is, offensive line or defensive line. Just like Brandon made a phenomenal point. Most of the time, you don't you expect trench guys, they need a little bit of time to really develop in the system before they really start to flourish. I mean, just because from a physicality standpoint, it's a big jump versus a receiver, you're running routes. So that is, something that I would mention with the receiver. And plus, really at this point, that's more about just getting solid depth. I mean, Ryan Williams, Latsier Brooks, Rico Scott, I think all those guys have a lot of potential. Noah Rodgers, I liked his tape. Sadarian Morgan, seeing what he did in high school, you'd imagine that big body guy like that could definitely come in and help. So I think there's definitely some positives when you look at what we're working with. It's just, I think it's as simple as this, Wyatt. What were the most glaring issues even from this past season? Offensive line play in terms of just being, getting consistent, right? Getting 5 consistent guys to go out there and execute and play physical and do the things you need them to do to help give your quarterback and your skill guys a chance. And then also on the other side, I would say the front 7 of our defense, which made strides throughout the year, but then you just lost a whole bunch, damn near all of them. So my opinion is like, we're not really worried about the skill part. I mean, skill guys on defense, I'm great with. Skill guys on offense, I know we haven't, we lost the explosive back we were supposed to bring in, but still, I mean, you still got a lot of good talent in there. To me, it's just like, man, the areas that I thought would have been, as soon as the portal opened up, I thought we would have said, let's go get us 3 experienced offensive linemen. Let's go get us 2 to 3 experienced defensive linemen, 2 backers, you know what I mean? And it's just like, man, 2 days remain in the portal. We just hadn't really necessarily seen that. So I guess that's my only, question in terms of kind of where we stand, but we'll see where it plays off. I know we got to hit this timeout. Wyatt, I appreciate your thoughts. If you're going to be hanging out right there, I'll definitely jump back to you. We're going to hit these phone lines when we come back and then keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge. Again, that was Wyatt, who was just hanging out with us. I'm sure he's still in the cut if you guys got any questions. But again, he comes on after us on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC as well. We're going to hit this timeout. We come back to the phone lines. We go. Don't go anywhere. Quick timeout. Be right back.
Hey, God.
O-line needs to marinate. Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm just kind of at this point, it's like I feel like we're signing up for some growing pains, man. Matter of fact, I mean, let's go back to our schedule real quick. I know somebody wanted me to throw on that tape of 93. I'll show you his tape real quick. But let's see a couple more clips of 99 at nose. See when he gets back in here. Again, we need all the bodies we can get at this point. So, I mean, hell, I'll be honest with you. Developmental guy or not, definitely would take it. But Sam Pittman and Pruitt will fix things. Here's the problem with bringing Pruitt in, man. If you're bringing in a guy, but you're not replacing the coordinator, you're still going to be working with that coordinator system and scheme and the things that he wants to do. And I'm just going to be completely transparent with you guys. I mean, it's not like Kane Womack doesn't have the ability to go meet with Coach Saban and adapt any type of philosophy, quality of his defense. You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he can go sit there and meet with Coach Saban whenever and literally adapt anything or adopt anything from his defense. But he doesn't. So I think that just kind of that tells you everything you need to know. I mean, he wants to run his system. So to answer your question, I'll be honest, I don't think Pruitt would be a fit here because you're going to be asking Pruitt to then learn Kane Womack's system and only, assist and operate within that. So unfortunately, I don't think that would be a move. But now if you're talking about one day him coming back here and being the coordinator, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. He's a damn good football coach. So tired of people yelling about Pruitt. We could run the ball. I don't know. Wait, we could not run the ball. I'm confused what you mean by that, Dwight. You're saying like our bigger issue was running the football, not the defense? Yeah, I mean, if you really just wanted to hire Pruitt as a backers coach, but like I said, though, in terms of like him really offering stuff, maybe Kane would be receptive. I'm just trying to paint this picture, guys, so you understand. Like he literally could meet with Coach Saban, and he could draft Coach Saban's defense and all his philosophies if he wanted to. But through 2 years of him being here, he's maintained all of the principles of his own defense. Not saying, again, it's his choice. It's his defense. He can do whatever he pleases. I'm just saying, if he's not even really that invested in trying to, adopt as much as he could from Coach Saban or his defense, I don't. Pruitt coming here would literally be nothing. Maybe Alabama guys felt they would have less leverage financially near the end of the portal. Less suitors? Do I think Bama goes after those twins from Florida State? I wish they would. I'm telling you, like 93. I'm gonna put 93's tape on here, and I'll show you why I think Bama needs to go after him.
Calusa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
Yeah, Jake, no, statistically, we had a good defense for sure, but I do think there's still some things that could be cleaned up that help our consistency. Welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. I'm so used to saying presented by, but again, new year, we got some new opportunities. We got an open presenting sponsor available. So I know we've been I got some stuff we're working on behind the scenes, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But if anybody is interested in getting involved with the Miller's Edge, again, rapidly growing. I mean, our platform has exploded literally over the last 3 weeks, which is amazing. And it's thanks to all you guys and all the support. But if you guys own a business or want to do some advertising or partner with us, we would love to talk about it. You can always hit us up. Go to our website, themillersedge.com. There you can get our contact information. You can shoot us an email, and we can discuss, meeting and talking about some opportunities that are available. We got a lot of good stuff. Not only is radio advertising, very available for you, but also with our platforms online and social media, YouTube, and all the live streaming that we do. It's definitely a great opportunity, not just from a local aspect, from a national aspect as we continue to grow. So definitely contact us. So my guy Adam is in the chat. He said he sent us an email. I know we've had a couple other folks that reached out to us. So always just want to remind you guys, because I know a lot of people don't know how you get into contact with us. Themillersedge.com. You can find our information right there. And I'd be more than happy to talk with you about joining our team right here on the Miller's Edge, just like our guy Adam. Without further ado, man, this current segment sponsored by our guy Adam Lamparello, man, because Adam is literally, man, he's insane when it comes to supporting this show. Everybody is insane when they support our show, but Adam literally, he goes above and beyond, and we can't thank him enough. Adam, his question is, Christian, I think DeBoer is an excellent coach, but I worry about the fit at Alabama. He's known as a player-friendly coach, and I wonder if that means less of the discipline. Saban brought in a shift away from physicality, aggressiveness on defense in the run game. Am I wrong? I don't think that's a bad question to ask at all, right? I mean, I think a lot of people probably have that very similar question when you just talk about how some of the teams can look a little bit different and whatnot. But I'll say this, Coach DeBoer is a phenomenal football coach, without a doubt, right? I mean, it's proven with his track record and what he's been able to do at different stops. It's proven by when he's been matched up against other, very, high quality football coach, very successful football coaches. If you go and look at his record against the likes of Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart, hell, I'm probably forgetting one. But anyway, you get the point. When he matches up against these other programs with high caliber, personnel and coaches, I mean, he fares really well. So, I mean, that speaks for itself. So without a doubt, we all can agree that he is a really, really good football coach. However, when you're asking about fit, I think it's interesting when you look at it, right? Because I see both sides of it. On one hand, I don't, if somebody can coach ball, they can coach ball. And sometimes it's going to look different, right? You watch a team like the Rams, they go win a Super Bowl. I know their preparation looked a whole lot different than probably the New England Patriots when they were winning under Bill Belichick. Their system and philosophy was a lot more like ours was at Alabama than Sean McVay and those guys over with the Rams. A lot more laid back approach. They didn't practice nearly as much as some of these other teams and whatnot. So you can win a number of different ways. But I do understand maybe the question regarding the fit here, just because when you look at the University of Alabama, you talk about being in the SEC. I mean, you're playing teams that are big physical football teams on a consistent basis, whether it's Texas A&M or LSU or Georgia. I mean, you can name half the schools in this conference, and I mean, they all kind of have that similar DNA. Big physical football teams, speed, right? Some of the best in the country. And just when you kind of look at this system that we have right now, it's very pass heavy. Appears to be a little bit of an inability to run the football on a consistent basis. There's been times that the team has showed up and hasn't really played to that physical standard. So I think that's an honest and fair question to ask. My opinion on it, do I feel like he necessarily fits the mold of what I envision as like an Alabama football coach, especially from what I know? Again, and I'm only speaking off of what I know and my experience of it. And I know there's people that have been fans way longer than I have. I totally understand. But from my experience, I do agree that he doesn't necessarily come off as like the exact, I guess, fit that I would envision, especially coming from Coach Saban. But I don't think that's necessarily wrong or a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because he's also shown, I mean, in year 2, they've had success. They made it to the SEC championship game with the way he does it, which is a lot different than Coach Saban. So I think two things can be true. I think it can be true that he might not necessarily be the most natural fit at Alabama, just given our past and our history, especially recent history. But I think it also doesn't immediately mean that it's not going to work or you can't have success doing it a certain way. It might look a little bit different, but I think at the end of the day, it's all about results. And if you can find a way to still get those same results or similar results, I think everybody's happy. And then people are, somebody said a long time ago, winning cures everything, right? So people might complain about, his attire or, our lack of running the football or sometimes not looking physical. But I can guarantee you, if we won a national championship, no one would mention anything about what he was wearing, how many times we ran the football, or if we passed it 100 times a game, or if, we missed a bunch of times. I mean, if you win the championship, you win the championship, right? I mean, if you're like me and you're sitting there grinding tape, yeah, we're always going to point things out, but you get my point. But listen, he had a 1,000-yard rusher at Washington. I think they just need to find out. This is what I think they're lacking. I think they're lacking an identity on offense. Defensively, there's some things that can be cleaned up for sure. I think they also need to kind of hunker down their identity as well. They kind of shifted a few different things kind of throughout the last couple years. But I think they just need to find out who they are, and they really need to lean into it. And if that's a little bit different than what we've seen, but as long as it's providing results, I think that's all that matters. But I'll just say this. I mean, being at practices and whatnot, even though he doesn't yell or cuss a whole bunch, if at all, he still coaches guys up. I mean, they practice hard. It definitely looks a little bit different than some of the stuff that we've done, but they get after it. I just think that the biggest thing for him right now is consistency, right? I mean, because he's shown that he can do it in big moments, but he's also shown that there's times where we completely play uncharacteristically, right? We might lose a game that we shouldn't lose, or we might lose in a fashion that Alabama shouldn't lose. And so I think that's the biggest drawback right now, or the biggest criticism maybe. I think people are okay with, year 2 being what it was. I mean, that's a great sign of progress. But I think the biggest drawback or criticism right now is, but there were some stains, right? Some moments that weren't very pretty, that kind of left a little bit of a bad taste, like, that's not really who we are. And I think that's very fair to bring up all those points. But like I do with everything, man, if we're going to criticize one thing, I think it's very important that we acknowledge the positives and give credit where credit is also due. But I guess that's a long-winded way of saying he's a little bit different of a fit than I would probably envision here in Tuscaloosa. But I don't think that doesn't – I'm not saying that doesn't mean it can't work. I think it still can work. It just might look a little bit different. That's probably the best way I could put that. But I will say I agree with you. We need to be more physical. We need to be more aggressive. And listen, and that does start with him, though. So it starts with him, and then it goes down to his coaches and his coordinators, and then that goes down to the football team. And those guys have to hold each other accountable. Well, it's a number of things. I mean, it's personnel. You got to bring in some dudes. You got to bring in some dogs, guys that have that mentality. You can't really coach dogs. You either got it or you don't. So, I mean, they got to recruit, evaluate, and develop those kind of players. And then they got to make sure they're enforcing it. Like, it has to be a consistent thing. It can't be we're going to do it, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then week 5 we're going to kind of go lay down and kind of just try to skate by. And it has to be a standard. And I think the quicker that they can find their identity as a football team, their identity as a culture, and develop that standard that's a non-negotiable, I think that would be even better. So that's probably the best way I could put that. But really good question by Adam. Let's do this because we're already due for a break. When we come back, we got the Pastor Payne on here. We'll be joined by him. We got Smitty on the phone lines. We'll let Smitty join the conversation with him. That way we do everything all at one time. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. And we keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC.
You could save thousands. It's the grand reopening of the all-new Tesco.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, let me try this real quick. See, but where do you go, though? Hold on. See, I don't want to – it might mess it up. Hold on. Can you hear me? You still can?
Yeah.
All right, cool. It worked this time. Let me catch up on this chat. A lot of people are saying the Twins want more money from FSU. Who knows, man? Adam, thank you so much, by the way, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to check my email, too. I'm going to look out for that as soon as we get off here. What does it say? Yeah, I wouldn't know about those guys or their plans, but I can tell you, man, there's some damn good football players that have shown physicality. They got athleticism. They got great hand combat, great technique, offer some really nice pass rush ability. I would be all over it. I just don't think it happens, but teams started declining on the offensive defensive lines in 2021. Yeah, we've talked about that here on the show. Again, to be clear, I know a lot of people are probably new, but me and my dad have been doing this for 3 years now. But while Coach Saban was still here, and we had many of the same criticisms and critiques that we were talking about now. I know some people try to make it seem like it's like, oh, people are just trying to do it because it's Coach DeBoer, and I'm like, no, check our receipts. He had been he was grilling the offensive line under Coach Saban. He was grilling them. Yeah, so I don't know when people try to say that, like it's like, oh, it's only under Coach DeBoer. I'm like, that's not other people.
No, the offensive line was on the decline when Coach Saban was here.
Yeah, we've been saying that.
Yeah, I mean that they were a juggernaut. His last couple of years, it was doing this, and the defensive line. That's what the question we drew up was: are they recruiting at a level that they used to, or are these guys they're bringing in don't have the stars beside their name? Weren't their actions on the field didn't represent 5 stars? And so that decline had already started even before Coach Saban left. So, and we've been saying that. So that's not just because of Coach DeBoer. Now I did question Coach DeBoer's offensive line hire, Coach Mack.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the evidence of that. So.
Somebody said they think, wait. Oh, Austin Mack's job to lose. It's gonna be a very, very good battle, right? I mean, I'll say this: if they had to play a game this weekend, Austin Mack would be the guy, and that's not like breaking news. Just think about it. He's in the system. My thing is, though, it's going to be interesting to see how much ground Kalen Russell can cover over the next 6 months or so, 7 months. That's going to really be the true determining factor. Regardless, I think either way, you're in a great position. They're both going to be on the roster next year, right? I mean, even if you start with one, if one's not, playing great, you still.
But really, how much confidence do you have going into a season where you're looking to elevate, and you got 2 quarterbacks though talented, but 0 experience, and that to me would be concerning. I think that Alabama needs to go out and find them a veteran quarterback that can come and push those guys, that is able to start if they don't step up and be the player that they think. But if you got a guy that's been a season starter somewhere, though not been great, but somewhat of a quarterback type manager, and bring him in, because I don't think you go into the season with a zero experience quarterback, a zero offensive line that's already is in a bunch of trouble. I think that's a case for disaster, if you're asking me, because those guys haven't played enough plays.
And we're back on this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Pastor Payne has joined us. We were just chopping it up a little bit over that break. We're going to go back to him here in a minute, but let's welcome Smitty on via the phone lines, and then we can all engage in the conversation. Smitty, welcome in.
Gentlemen, how's it going today?
Man, can't complain. Smitty,
Well,
how's
Smitty.
everything?
Hey, just a lovely 77-degree day out here in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. One of the fish taco capitals of the world here.
I wish I was with you. I'm looking at 38 degrees right here in the South Kakalaki.
Yeah. But I heard you guys were talking earlier, right? And I think the portal is now resembling NFL free agency, where you get the big names signed, they're going to sign early. But like now, you're going to have players that really going to make your roster work if evaluations are important. Because I remember my Buccaneers, about 2019, signed Shaq Barrett, relative unknown, couldn't get on the field in Denver, undrafted guy. He ended up becoming a sack leader, 2-time Pro Bowler. Same thing with the Panthers, with Rico Dowdle, relative unknown guy, unheralded signing, gave us some good weeks rushing.
That's a Gamecock, by the way. He's a Gamecock.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. An undrafted guy gave him good production. And I think this is where evaluations come in, where you may have to bet on people. And like with this roster, they do need some thumpers, like that kid from Oregon. Bring him in to pay him, because his next visit at Cal, where his former defensive coordinator is the head coach now, Tosh. So you might have to lock the kid down, because I will bet on those measurables. And the one thing I learned, gentlemen, is on the line. Both lines of scrimmage, those are developmental positions. Because every time I see he talk about offensive lineman in high school, he's always playing left tackle, and he ends up being a center in college, you know. And I think that is where the young guys playing offensive line, your whole line is young, may come into play, because you're not used to that shrimp, and you got your technique. And I think that's where you may need to bring in some veterans there who got the strength, who got the technique down, who could actually see some things and communicate it out. And I think they would do that. It may be some unheralded names, but just like the NFL, most of your team are comprised of day 2, and day 3 picks. Those who make your team. That's what make your team work. And I think that's what I think is going to happen here. They're going to bring in some guys, unheralded names, but if they're the right guys, I think they'll do a good job.
Well, we're in a world that's the name drop means everything. I mean, listen, if you're a coach and you work the salt, you got to be able to evaluate talent. You got to be able to evaluate a kid that, hey, nobody's talking about. He don't have the star beside his name that most people want to see, but he's who's putting the star beside his heart? Who's putting the star beside the effort in which he brings every day? Who putting the star beside the leadership in which he can bring? So, listen, I don't know which guy you're talking about with Oregon. I hope you're talking about number 28, because if that linebacker is available, I go get him, because he's one of my favorite players. When I watch Oregon, I love that dude. Even when they were getting thumped and kicked and smashed, 28 was making plays in the backfield. And this guy, I believe, if I'm right, for Oregon was a baseball player. I think he was drafted in baseball. If it's a 28, the middle linebacker that I'm thinking about.
No, he's talking about a defensive lineman. He's a reserve nose, but he's.
Oh, I'm talking about 28. Is he 28 done?
I don't know. Well, I don't know about him, but I do know that.
You'll know about it if you turn that film on.
No, yeah. Well, we got it pulled up because we were watching 90. You talking about Terrence Green, 99 nose tackle, Smitty?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That 6'5" kid you talking about. He's got to play a little bit lower and stuff. That's what I would tell people. That's why line is a developmental position.
Yeah. No, listen, and I just watched a clip of him. He fired off the ball with great leverage, right? I mean, great pad level. Just another clip right there. You just got to do it more consistently. But I think a guy like him would be, huge for this defense, because we don't, now that Tim Keenan is left, we definitely could use a true nose, right? I mean, I know you got Beeman, but if you look at it, Simmons is not a real nose. He played nose, but he would excel as a 3 technique. I mean, Edric Hill, I think Edric's I don't even know if Edric Hill is 300 pounds. I could be wrong. I might be off today, but I don't think he is. And I think he's more of a 3 technique. We need true. The guy from Mississippi State could probably play it, but he played at Mississippi State more of a 3/4 and occasionally a 5 in their odd defense. But he is like 3 something. So, I mean, you got at least somebody, but we need – my biggest thing is, look, I want physicality, right? Even if you are a little undersized. I want to see physicality. Like when I pull up the tape of these players, I want to see physicality. I haven't seen a whole bunch of that just yet. So hopefully we do add some dudes like that because that's to me what this defense is missing. I mean, we're missing dudes that get after you up front. We're missing some of these thumpers on the second level. And I think if you can go find that, great. If not, you got to – hopefully some of these young guys can do it. And they probably are hungry. I think these young guys are probably hungry. So you just might have some growing pains.
Yeah. You know, one guy I'll bring up, now maybe we talked about him earlier, is Justin Hill. And you was talking about a play he could have done the assignment better, but you talk about I could work with that physicality and that toughness. Mm-hmm. And like Michael Carroll, you could work with that as well. And Latzia Brooks, how tough he is. And I think some of those young guys may have to set the tone with that. But I believe I never played football on level you guys had. Heck, I never did it in college. But I know certain things like that is infectious. You know,
100%.
Especially from your top guys. And so the top guys have to set that tone. Like in a receiver corps, I think Ryan Williams, I know people like to pair Malachi Tony, but I think Ryan has to be physical like Malachi Tony. Like get in there, put your nose in and block like Malachi does. Sure. And I think that stuff becomes infectious when you're top. And I'm not talking bad about the young man. I'm just speaking ball, you know, so people don't take that the wrong way.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and so you have to put your nose in it. Even if you catch one of those wide receiver screens, put your shoulder in there sometimes because I remember Jake Coker when he put that shoulder at defender at, I think it was Georgia or Texas A&M, the team got behind him. And I think something like that from one of your top guys, especially your top paid guys, I believe that stuff sets the tone. But I think some of the young guys.
Well, leadership is definitely a problem for Alabama. They don't have any known leaders. I mean, I would say, you know, Ty Simpson was that guy, and he did it to the best that he could. But, you know, other guys weren't stepping up. Other guys weren't, you know, angry. I mean, I was surprised, like, defensively when Indiana was smashing them. You know, where was Tim Keenan on the sideline? Where were some of those older guys? Where were
TK is a good leader, I promise.
Where was Zero? I'm just talking about doing that in the end of the game. I didn't see nobody.
TK was checking coaches.
Well, I know he did one time, but I want him to check coaches against Indiana. I mean, I want him to check.
I'm telling you right now, TK was
okay, but it wasn't. You might know that better than anybody, but I'm just saying it was not shown on the field. It wasn't shown that, you know, they cared. I mean, it has to matter. It has to mean something to you when you're going to be successful with anything in life. It don't matter what it is. It has to mean something to you. I mean, so. You know, to me, it's just that's a big drop off from what they had. And I know we keep comparing to the past, and it's not the past anymore, right? You know, the Apostle Paul said, forget the past, forget those things that are behind you, but press on to what lies in front of you. And they got to look at the past and say, we don't want to be that no more. We got to look forward to what's in front of us. And whatever that is, we got to get to that. Whoever that is, we got to go find that. So that we can be back to, at some level, what we used to be. I mean, this is Alabama. You questioning toughness. Anytime you get a football player and his toughness, his desire, his attitude, his want is questioned, that's a heart issue. And what's causing these guys not to have heart? Well, y'all know the answer. I'm not going to beat the dead horse. But to me, when you get comfortable, when you get complacent and you operate in catch this right here, in the spirit of complacency, you got a problem with your overall team. And if the guys who are at the top, leaders or guys that's been around, if they're not exemplifying these things, then it's going to run downhill. If the head coach and the position coaches don't exemplify these things, it's going to run downhill. And that's why I say the team will take on the personality of the said coach. So, You don't have to cuss people out, spit on them, and spit in their face but you got to demand excellence. You know you're not going to get it. You're not going to get perfection, but you can operate in the spirit of excellence in areas at times, at least for the majority. And that's all I'm saying. I mean, and that's why I think if your leadership is lacking, if your head coach is lacking in that area of getting guys motivated, Mario Cristobal doesn't. The coach at Indiana, he doesn't. I promise you. And that's why you see them playing on Monday night, because they got a team that has bought in to what their coach is selling, and they're rocking and rolling. That's all I'm saying. Alabama, they got 9 wins. Kalen DeBoer's first year. Most people in the country will be totally happy with 11 wins. The next year, that's +2. The second round of the college football playoffs, you play for an SEC championship. On the periphery, you go, man, why are people complaining? He's showing that he's getting better. But you go back and look who they lost to and how they lost. That is the major problem with Kalen DeBoer. When he does good, it's good. But, boy, when it stinks, it stinks. It's total dong. It's poo-poo.
Need to clip that.
You know what?
I had to say that for the stream because it'll give us our clips later. Go ahead, Smitty.
I'll say this. I think the way use the old Bobby Knight method, and I clean it up with butt meets bench. Sometimes he just might have to take spots. And, we saw that with Damani Jackson wasn't playing around well against Georgia. Georgia targeted him, and you put Dijon Lee in, and it's like, hey, I know he's a freshman, but at least he's hitting people. He's going after it. And I think, not saying this at the Florida State, I'll tell my dad, if we're going to lose, I'd rather lose with the young guys who's playing hard, who's physical, who's tough. If they mess up, at least I know they're going hard. And I think that's what discourages some people. Maybe you just have to take, hey, get some people down if they ain't showing that. Because, hey, we all going to mess up. We all human beings. The other team is good also. But, hey, you might have to put some people on the bench as well sometimes. And that may get through to people.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said, it's not always about yelling, cussing. I mean, you can get your point across and set the standard a number of different ways. Hell, listen, even, how you respond to some disciplinary stuff, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to dive into stuff, but you get what I'm saying? You can be assertive in a number of different ways without it looking, I hate to say like this, like Jamarcus Shepard, right? To be fair, I mean, at first I kind of was down with how expressive he was, but then at the end of the day, I started to say, all right, they done this. I don't even know if it's fully translating because I'm like, as rah-rah as he is, I mean, some of the stuff I was seeing out of the wide receiver room, I'm like, I don't even think that's translating. So this just goes to show you, not all yelling is productive. You know what I mean? I think it just depends on how you go about it and your method. At the end of the day, it's about results. But Smitty, we appreciate you, man. Good stuff as always, brother.
All right, Smitty.
You enjoy those fish tacos in that great weather.
Hey, go down there to Scottsdale. I know about Scottsdale. I used to go to finish every year when we played the Cardinals out there. But I love Scottsdale, bro. I love it.
I'll say this real quick. I want to say thank you guys for breaking down film on the stream afterwards. I like that. And also, I need Pastor Miller to give us some LT stories after the show is over, of course. Have a good one.
Yeah, couldn't do that.
Rated PG, baby.
Yeah, that's rated R. Past PG. Appreciate it, Smitty. We got to hit a timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling right here. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC.
At Hall's Feed and
Man, Adam with another segment. There we go. Another segment sponsored by Adam Lamparello. Hey, I need to check my email right now. We gotta start plugging Adam in any way.
I see that. It says Corey, I was at Giant Stadium in 1991 when you played the Eagles. I remember that. Their defensive line, Reggie White, Jerome Brown, and Clyde Simmons was one of the best I've seen. What made them so dominant? And as a fan, Gary Reasons, who's our middle linebacker, with 4th and goal that hit against Denver in the snow was epic. Yes, to your first question, that defensive front for Philadelphia. Matter of fact, that entire defense, Seth Joyner, you can go back, all those guys, man. The Eric Allen, who's a Hall of Famer. I mean, they had players everywhere. But that defensive line of Philadelphia was no joke. Big, long, fast, physical. That's what made them great. Big, long, fast, and physical. and they disrupted everything. Reggie White with the famous hump move. I remember telling Jumbo Elliott, we laughed so many times, how many times Reggie White hit him with the hump. You hit him with the rip move, you bring that arm out, you get that body leaning, and then you just throw him. I mean, he would throw 330-pound lineman 4 or 5 yards. This was unbelievable at his strength. And he didn't look like it in the shirt, and he wasn't ripped up like that. But boy, he played with great leverage and timing, if you will. But that defensive front of Philadelphia, man, Clyde Simmons, when you talk about length of a defensive end, and we look forward in edge guys today, Clyde Simmons was that, and Jerome Brown was your typical. You talk about Tim Keening and nose, a guy that can play zero technique and two gap play, both sides of the A gap. He could do it all. And you was forced to try to run the football different kind of ways, but then they had those linebackers that was flowing downhill. Seth Joyner, one of my good friends, he was fast and furious. But Gary Reasons, I love Gary. Learned a lot from Gary. He kind of, Christian talked about Luke Kuechly, a linebacker that was like the quarterback of the defense. That was Gary Reasons for the Giants. I mean, he was smart. He played at Northwestern. I think he's a lawyer or some type of something now. I mean, he was just incredible, knowing where to be. He wasn't your most physically dominant player. If you look at somebody in drills, running bags, smashing the linemen, getting off blocks, that wasn't him. But when you look for a guy that he understood what the offense was doing, he was able to call things out. He was able to get into the right position. Adam, he was amazing. And love how he played. And it's good when you play defense that you got a guy that knows not just only his position, but a guy that knows everybody's position. And that was Gary Reasons, wonderful football player, him and Pepper Johnson, who I had a chance to kind of even playing inside linebacker to learn from. I ended up playing some Mike for him at times because I was a little bit more physically dominated, more faster, I should say. But, man, what a good dude to be able to go to the NFL. And you don't have this anymore. As a young player like I was, playing defensive end in college, going to the National Football League, and now they tell you you're going to play all the linebacker positions. So having to learn, having to play good with your eyes, but you have guys that's been around when I got there 8-9 years, been in the league, having a chance to sit behind them and having a chance to learn and grow. Gary Reasons, Pepper Johnson, Carl Banks, Johnny Cooks, Lawrence Taylor. I mean, that's the luxury that I had to sit behind and play. And you just don't get that anymore.
Yeah, y'all had some dudes on y'all's defense too. No, 100%. I don't know as
Steve
much about
Diassi, another guy who's a backup long snapper. I've had his son play about 17 years.
Wait, long snapper?
He's a long snapper and a middle linebacker. He did both.
Man, that's crazy. It sounds like high school. And welcome back into this Thursday edition real quick. We got a few minutes before we close out on radio. I'm going to sit on the stream for about 30 minutes or so, break down some tape. We got some new guys on our radar. So if you guys enjoy watching some breakdowns, you just want to get a behind-the-scenes glimpse, I guess, of these players, not just highlights, but actually, on a snap-to-snap basis. We'll be doing that on the stream at the Miller's Edge, over on YouTube and Facebook, Tide 100.9 as well, YouTube at the Miller's Edge. Again, completely free. All we do is ask on your way in. Just hit that like button. We got like 89 likes right now. We got like double the people in here. If you guys haven't, man, just do me a favor. Just go tap that button real quick. It takes 2 seconds. And if you enjoy the content, subscribe, join the team. We'd love to have you here on the show. Real quick, it's just to piggyback off of something you said earlier. You said it during, and we're not going to have too much time to really elaborate on this, but it was an interesting comment, and we could probably dive into it a little bit more tomorrow. You said before we jump back on radio when you first got on that you wouldn't be opposed to Alabama trying to maybe find a portal quarterback, but before everybody swerves off the road and freaks out because they're thinking about Keelan Russell and Austin Mack. It was an interesting point. What you said was a guy that's not like some superstar. I don't even think there is one in the portal, but you're saying a guy that is an experienced guy, basically is a quality backup, meaning if those guys still aren't necessarily quite ready yet early in the year, or just from even a competitive standpoint,
you
thought that it could drive those guys to be even better. That was an interesting point. So that could be interesting if there is a veteran.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean,
you're doing the NFL all the time.
You hear me say this all the time. Experience always trumps talent. I mean, you got these 5-star guys and they look good, but here's the problem. They ain't played any football. So when you're looking to have a turnaround season, the last thing you want normally is to have a turnaround season with a rookie in the NFL or a turnaround season with a freshman/sophomore in college football that has not many plays, garbage time. So if you're Alabama with an offensive line that's definitely don't have unity, don't have experience right now, and you talking about going in with a quarterback that don't have it either, what do you think is going to happen? That's why I said even on the Bama Standard the other night, if you're an Alabama fan, catch this, you need to be worried. You need to be worried, and it's a real reason why you worry, because you don't have a veteran offensive line, and you talking about a young quarterback, inexperienced. That's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for a lot of mistakes. It's a recipe for another above average type season, if you ask me.
Well, you got work to do in the portal, so hopefully they can definitely address that. I agree. You definitely need to get some experience in there. I'll say this. I wouldn't worry like that. Just from my perspective, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I would add that it definitely is a recipe for growing pains, because I think once those guys get their feet wet and they finally settle down and kind of get, acclimated, I think it could all end up working out just fine. But you got to survive.
But what gives you that? But what gives you that
well, because
confidence?
I know the confidence comes from the talent from those quarterbacks themselves. That I've seen them personally, like behind the scenes. They just need the reps. So once they get the reps, they're good. Offensive line wise, I'm with you. If they're not doing their job, it's hard for anybody to play quarterback. But I think the offensive line, same thing. Once they get more reps, they could end up being better. We got to get out of here on radio, but we will hang out on the stream right here on the Miller's Edge. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow right here. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
You've been listening to the Miller's Edge, tackling sports daily.
Chase, Reed, appreciate you guys, man. But no, to elaborate on your question, the quarterbacks have all the talent, right? I mean, they have all the potential in the world. It literally is just a matter of lack of reps. You're right on that. I'm not disagreeing. And I agree too that a young and inexperienced offensive line paired with young and inexperienced at quarterback, that typically is a recipe for a lot of issues. I mean, like anybody that knows football would easily agree with that, right? Even if you don't want to, that's just the truth. However, my thing is, if you can survive the early weeks while they're getting acclimated, they're getting their feet wet, I think you end up being fine. But that's the biggest thing, though. It's just you have to, again, I don't even remember our schedule off the top.
Well, let me ask you this. The teams that are playing for the championship, do they have young, inexperienced quarterbacks?
No, and that's why I said on the show that, listen, experience trumps talent in a number of ways. And I always go back to that as talented as our quarterbacks are, you do have to take into consideration a lot of these teams that you're seeing right now, they're built on experience, right? That's why you see a team like Notre Dame go get a transfer portal quarterback, might not be, some big-time quarterback prospect, but the fact that he's played a bunch of college football.
Okay, what's Oregon's quarterback name?
Dante Moore, but he was young. He was like a redshirt sophomore.
He was young, and then that showed up too against an experienced football team. But he's coming back, so Oregon's going to be probably one of the favorites next year, especially with that defensive line in front they got coming back.
Well, they lost a lot of the guys, probably a lot of depth, but they lost a handful of.
But they got dudes coming back.
Yeah, but they lost a lot. And they lost some coaches too, man. I mean, Tosh, he went to Cal. I want to say didn't they lose both coordinators? Didn't the offensive coordinator also get hired? Maybe.
I think he did.
Look, our schedule for next year, we got you guys early. We got East Carolina to kick things off.
Win.
At Kentucky.
Win.
Yep. Florida State at home.
Win.
Right. So what I'm saying is
keep going.
You got South Carolina at home.
Win. Wait a minute.
Well, I was about to say
that might be a loss because the South Carolina has revved up.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I was going to say I wouldn't easily just say, easy win, because Lenore's coming back.
They got a lot. They have tore up the portal. I mean, go look at it.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I wouldn't.
I'm gonna go 3-1 now. Keep going.
Okay. I still think we probably win the game. I hope so. I don't want to lose to Carolina in Tuscaloosa.
I'm just saying 3-1. Go ahead.
At Mississippi State.
4-1.
Versus Georgia.
4-2.
Come on, man.
4-2.
Come on, man.
4-2.
At Tennessee.
Ooh. Young quarterback, 4-3.
Bruh.
Keep going.
Nah, because you're gonna piss people off, man.
I don't know.
Keep
going.
No. I've heard enough. I see where this is going.
No, I'm just trying to give you an idea. Right, this today that could change. 4-3. What you got,
bro? Come on, man.
Who the next 5?
Come on, man. Where we just leave off? Texas A&M at home. At LSU. At Vanderbilt. Yeah, listen, you got to stretch, but
here come a 8-4, 7-5 year for Alabama. Here it comes. Mark it down. 8-4. I'm gonna give them 8-4.
Look, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
8-4.
No, listen, I was gonna be honest with you. The way we're sitting right now, and I guess things could change. I'll be honest. Even with me trying to let them keep going. I'm
right. You're at LSU.
No, listen, because you guys know, man, I try to be fair and honest. I maintain that, but also, I got to ride with my tide, man. I mean, like, I got you.
Take your head.
I got you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If I had to right now, where we stand as a roster right now, predict, it would be hard for me to go over 9-3. I mean, that would be the max that I would feel comfortable with my credibility on the line, saying how confident I am with our record. And that's just me being honest. And I hope to God I am wrong. And if people get mad at that, I apologize.
All right, you better hope that 9 wins going to be like. I'm trying to tell you.
Listen. I know. I trust you, and I know that's a stretch, but that's why I said that would probably be like my cap that I would feel comfortable with, without maintaining my honesty, but also trying to ride with my guys. Because I'm just
we can ride and you can hope
you get what I'm saying. No, listen, just like Coach Saban. Coach Saban sits on that panel and he knows damn well there's times that he wants to pick against Alabama, but he just won't do it. I'm trying to take that approach because, like I said, man, like I'm prideful here and stuff. Listen. You're telling me Coach Saban doesn't do that? He does.
No, I know he does that, but I'm just saying that. But we ain't on game day right now. This is right in January as it stands. This is not game day. This is 2-day. Okay, not game day, but 2-day. And 2-day, Alabama offensive line. Alabama don't have a proven quarterback. Alabama receivers core looks diminished. Alabama don't have a pass rusher.
See, now you're talking without doing research. Janze just signed back. So our top edge guy from last year that led us in sacks.
They got one.
He signed. So hear me out. Yes, but you're right. We need more pass rush help. And then you talk about the receivers. Now, come on now. Listen. Don't make it seem like we don't have depth, but we have Ryan Williams, who, listen, he struggled this year. But listen, you make that face, but don't do that. You know damn well you know the game of football. That dude, if he can get back,
I know Ryan Williams is he's talented. He's talented.
And if he gets,
but I know he drops,
and he gets help from his offensive coordinator to actually try to consistently keep him involved and not quit on him.
He drops more passes than Marvin on Bama Standard Internet. It drops all the time. I mean,
okay, but let me ask you this though: as a player, from your experience, you're telling me you didn't see a jump from your years? Because I can tell you right now, if somebody went and watched me as a redshirt freshman, they would have called me trash. If somebody watched me as a redshirt sophomore, they would be like, he's all right.
Yeah, but
if somebody watched me as a redshirt senior, people would have been like, "Damn."
Let me give you some analysis.
No, listen. So
insight.
Hear me out.
All I'm doing is analyzing for what I have seen. What's on the tape, Brother Corey Miller, Brother Christian Miller? What's on the tape? I see a talented receiver that they have a hard time getting him into position and place to get him the ball to be electric. I see a talented receiver that drops balls that he should catch, but then he catches, the ones that he probably shouldn't. I see a guy with, basically I'm saying, inconsistent has been Ryan Williams' career. Very talented, but yet very inconsistent. I see a team that's decimated on the offensive line that hasn't really replaced those players. I see a team that other than Ryan Williams and 17, I haven't seen anybody that I can sit here and go, I'm excited about in the 2026 on that roster at receiver. They're losing their best tight end, though they got a young man I know that's supposed to step in and be that. Defensively, Pierre Sain's back is a big plus. They got to find the guy that Tim Keenan in the middle. I think their cornerbacks still need to be better besides number 2. I don't know what Keon Sabb's situation.
Wait. I'm gonna fill you in on that. 5. The freshman, long, lengthy guy is 6'3", 6'4".
One that had the 2 pick sixes. What's his name?
No, you're talking about 2 year right now. He's our best corner, Xavier Brown, without a doubt.
Right.
But I'm saying you're telling me you weren't impressed with 5 as a true freshman, that he was 6'3", playing corner. Now, yes,
I ain't seen enough of him. All I'm saying, I haven't seen enough of him.
I was going to tell you. I was going to give you this. Yeah, he had a couple freshman moments, especially more early on. But he was the one that ended up playing for Damani, right? They sat Damani and put 5 in. That's who I'm referring to.
What about Keon Sabb? Is he done?
Everybody in our secondary return outside of Cam Calhoun, who I
here's what I'm saying. They should not give number 3 Keon Sabb any money, but whatever the minimum is.
Come on, man.
Why does Keon Sabb tell me why he deserves more money?
I didn't say more money. He's coming back, but I was going to say he also offers value experience. I mean, he's a guy that played on a national championship winning team at Michigan. I'm just saying,
that don't matter here.
You talk about locker room guys. No, I'm saying you need that. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you. I've said it on the show. I don't think he played his best ball this past year. But listen, one thing that people don't know.
So I'm the GM, and I'm saying, okay, based on what you did on the field, I need to take some of your money.
Listen, I'm not arguing that he didn't play great ball last season. I'm saying it's still a positive when you bring back a seasoned vet that has experience in a national championship game, that has been a leader in the locker room, that's been with this new staff for 2 years. I'm just saying that's a positive. I'm not saying a young guy can't push for more talent, more playing time, like Ivan Taylor. I'm not saying that doesn't necessarily happen. I'm just saying the fact that everybody in the back end, that should give you confidence with this defense in terms of art. Our secondary played some good ball this past year. All those guys are returning minus Damani Jackson and one some of the backups that transferred out. Why are you making that face? In terms of pass defense, we were one of the best teams in the country. That's a fact. And we forced, 20 turnovers?
Yeah, because people are running the ball.
Listen. No. I hear what you're saying. You're going to say,
let me get some air. Ooh, Lord, give me some air.
You want me to pull up passing attempts against us? I'll pull up the numbers.
What were they ranking pass defense?
Earlier in the year, you're not wrong. Earlier in the year, we were rated really high because a lot of people were running the football. But over the course of the year, that balanced out. I'll pull up the numbers. I'm not saying we had the most attempts thrown against us, but it was not like it was some drastic difference where that was skewing the data. I'll just say that. I agree with what you said about.
What was that secondary against Indiana?
Shoot, in cover 0. And the guy, but don't make that face. Who do you expect to go cover? Listen, if you're going to run cover 0, you got to get home. That's on the guys up front. If you're going to bring 7, their ass needs to get home. That's on them. That's not on the secondary.
I mean, pass rush, pass defense work hand in hand. You're right.
It does. So I'm just saying, and we ran a lot. We went aggressive in that game, which I thought was the move. Go force the issue.
They didn't have a choice because their front 4 can't get pressure.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. I mean, we need more pass rush. And even if you're going to dial other stuff up, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's some things that we could do better schematically to put ourselves in better. That's why, like, when people just go, oh, well, statistically, the defense was great. And I'm like, I'm not going to deny that. But we also had a number of things that we could have done better at, which the good news is I saw a difference from year 1 to year 2. And so my goal is, or not goal, I guess my hope would be going into year 3, we can continue to build on that. What are some of those? We got to play more coverages in the back end. We don't play enough coverage in the back end. And when you talk about actually running true pressures, again, if you guys know ball, you know what I'm talking about. In terms of running like fire zones and different pressures like that, we got to mix stuff up more. We don't really do that. We don't. And I think, and listen, and even like that, we still played solid defense, but you're talking about getting home. That comes from showing different looks. You gotta start being a little more creative. We can't just say, all right, we're going to bring pressure. We're just going to run the same thing. We're going to bring the Husky like a sting on a sting path. All right, now we're going to bring cover 0. We're bringing 7. Like, you have to like get more into the simulated world, which we did some simulators for sure, but I'm just saying, like, that's what Indiana does such a good job at. I would argue the guys that Indiana has up front, you're talking about guys getting home, they've got good players up front. But tell me who on Indiana's front reminds you of a Reuben Bain, reminds you of a Brian Burns, reminds you of any of these players that are just dominant players that are winning these one-on-ones consistently. I would argue a lot of that pressure that they dial up is more so from the scheme. Am I wrong? Their three linebackers consisted are
I mean, they're not. I already said that, man. They don't impress me with their physicality at all. But they play hard, and if you're not matching, physicality with physicality, they will win.
I'm with you on that. We need to be more physical. I mean, without a doubt. Listen, and that's why a lot of these people that see these guys that we're bringing in via the portal, they just go off of, oh, well, he's rated this in the portal. I don't go off of that. And that's why I keep bringing up the point. Like, I'm not trying to pick on Tompkins. I'm not trying to pick on the guy from Mississippi State. I'm just saying, one of the, like, as good as we've been on defense the last couple of years, because, again, statistically, we've been pretty damn solid. The numbers speak for themselves. But one of the things that needs to be cleaned up and be better is we need more dudes up front. We need more physicality. And the guys we brought in so far don't.
I just can't look at Alabama defense and be like, they're a good defense.
But see,
I just seen too many moments. I've seen too many moments.
I think you're
focusing this defense.
I think you're focusing.
Don't show up. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. Compared to what defenses, and I know I'm comparing again, but compared to what Alabama defense used to look like, compared to what it is like, I can't sit here and say with honesty, with a straight face, that this defense shows. I don't think there's anybody in college football afraid of Alabama's defense.
But let me tell you why that is, though, because it looks different. And here's why. I'm not talking about scheme. If you go and watch, this defense doesn't necessarily go out there and 24/7 look like they're imposing their will to the likes of some of the defenses like that I was a part of that you're referencing. They look different than that. But what they do well is they bow up. If you go and look at their red zone defense, how many times did this defense hold a team to 3 points when their backs were against the wall and the offense put them in a bad position? Like, those are things that you and a lot of people aren't really leaning into right now. And I get it, because that doesn't really fly off the page, right? But if you look at the stops when it comes time to get a big stop, they do a damn good job of that. Do they get a whole bunch of sacks? No. But they get a lot of stops when they're needed. They hold teams to field goals. They come up with a lot of turnovers. They're doing it in a different way. It's a little bit different. They are a little inconsistent at times. I'm not going to disagree with you. But if you look at their run defense from the beginning portion of the year to the back half, it improved a lot. And I think a lot of that had to do with they finally started mixing some things up, doing some things different, throwing in some run stunts.
So what did they, since we're looking at stats, which I don't really big in that, but
let me pull it up. I forgot.
What did they finish in the total defense?
I'm going to put it on the screen. We'll talk about it. Total defense, I want to say they were like 30-something, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're a solid unit for sure. And again, it might have changed after the last game, but last time I looked, hold on, I'm putting it on the screen right now. Let me share this. Let me put this on here. That there. Zoom in, and here we go. All right, what do you want to see?
What's the total defense?
Total defense nationally, not in the conference. We'll just do nationally. I mean, I guess we could pull up the conference. 13th in total defense. That's what I'm saying, man. If you lean into just kind of the inconsistent moments, it's easy to go, yeah, man, well, they didn't. I'm just trying to tell you.
295 a game total yards?
Yeah, on average, they gave up 296.8 a game. Touchdowns was at 35. I want to say it's yards per play. It was under 5 yards at.
That's good. What was their pass defense?
It's going to be pretty damn good, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It just looks different. I'm telling you. And I'm not saying you're wrong. A lot of people think like that. I mean, and I get it. But because I had to have this talk on.
But that's why I said stats are inflated too.
No, they can be, but I'm just telling you, I used to have this talk on the post-game show that I do all the time, because, we'd have questions like, oh, well, because, like, for example, we would give up like one something on the ground, and then you go back and look, the team would have like 25 carries, And really, there would be like 3 explosive runs. One might be for 50. And that takes up probably 40% of the total rushing yards they had. And if you look at the numbers, so stats can be inflated in both ways, even the opposite direction of what you're saying. And I used to have to explain to people, like, on a consistent basis, like, the D-line is actually playing pretty solid. We really just give up an explosive run or two, which you got to clean that up.
All right, rushing. Here we go.
Wait,
Go scoring defense. Rushing
defense. I was trying to find passing defense, but I didn't see it. Hold on. Rushing defense, 37th. It's not bad. Okay. I mean, that's 127.
That's average. That's average.
Here, let's do this. Let's pull up the SEC too. Let's pull up the conference, right? Let's see within the conference. I mean, why not? In the conference, scoring defense, so you're number 4. Less than 20 points allowed a game. I think that might have been up a couple points. I think last year might have been a couple points lower, maybe. Rushing defense, 8th, middle of the pack in the conference. We just looked at that nationally. That was what, 30 something? Let me say, wait, passing defense. Hold on.
They were 37.
Huh?
37.
No, that was rushing.
Yeah.
Passing defense, we were number 1 in the conference. 11 interceptions. Held folks under 170 yards a game through there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and all those guys are returning. So that's what I'm saying. The biggest thing, the defense, honestly, man, like, you can work with that. I'll be the first one to tell you. There are things that they still.
But something there's a dead cat on the line with that defense, though, because it just, like, I would love to see games that, Indiana, the games they lost, what they did.
It's inconsistency. Listen, I'll pull up the tape of what happened against Indiana. I can show you. That game, I'll be honest with you, we got out physical. They won the line of scrimmage. The backs are running, falling forward.
What about the second game against Georgia?
SEC championship game?
Yeah.
Well, look at all their field position. They started on.
I don't care about that. I'm just saying, what were their stats?
Bro, I'm telling you right now, they literally, I think, 3 out of their 4 touchdowns started in our own territory.
Okay, but still, tell me what the stats was.
You can't put that on the defense. Blame Ryan Grubb. Let me pull up that game. Do you want the box score? Listen, I tried to warn you, like, if you really dive into this, man, it's not as bad.
It don't matter what the stats say to me, because I know what I saw with my eyes.
I get you, and listen, I know what I saw with my eyes too, and I'm not saying we're perfect by any means. I think the stats make us look, probably on paper we look a little bit better. I agree, than how we actually play. I'm not going to disagree, but I think they also speak for themselves in terms of those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. But what I mean by that is, you just don't see all of the inconsistencies within these stats. If you look at these stats, you would probably envision a defense of what you're describing. I would argue, if you pay attention to the games, you'll see some of these stats, like, it's not going to show the inconsistency of that explosive run. It can work the opposite way as well. That's why it's important for me. You know this. Tape number 1, and then I just use stats as just a source, just to kind of whether it's a reference point, whether to see how it lines up. But I don't like just boast stats. I just go off a tape. That's why, like, I don't know any of the stats from any of these players that are coming in. I have no idea how many sacks, tackles for loss, any of those guys from the defensive line put up. I just know what I watched on tape, and that's what I go off of. I don't care about that. But to answer your question, the numbers against Georgia, Stockton was 20 of 26, 156 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Nate Frazier, 13 for 52. So their leading rusher had 52 yards. Team total was 141. And again, that's what it goes to my point. Like, the field position was the story of that game. The biggest issue with Alabama's defense in that game was they didn't hold up in the red zone like they typically did in games prior. And me and Roman talked about this when Roman Harper came on the show. We talked about the fact that they had that one touchdown that was on Keon Sapp. He tried to undercut the route. He shouldn't have did that. Touchdown, right?
Number 3.
That was on him. Bray was on the end line of scrimmage. I think they ended up throwing. I think it was play action. He was trying to be aggressive and run support. He didn't pick up his guy. You know, it is what it is. So we had busts in that game. But we also were put in bad positions. That's what I'm saying. So you gotta look at the whole picture. I promise I don't go off of stats. I'm the first one sitting here on the show talking about we still need to get better defensively. Even though, like, when people throw out the numbers, I'm like, numbers are great, but we still have issues with this defense that need to be cleaned up if you want to continue progressing. I know somebody's like, well, what does he think about soccer? He's the first one to say last year he thought South Carolina might win 5 games. I mean, he's like this with everybody, guys. It's not just Alabama. He talks about everybody like this.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction was 5 and 7, I think.
Yeah. He predicted like 5 wins for South Carolina, which is his alma mater. And he is an Alabama fan. He really is. He's an Alabama fan through me. But Indiana starting defensive end and D tackle, undersized, but there's some dogs. 100%. Those guys aren't. That's why I was saying, like, they're not these big physically imposing guys, but they also are they play hard, and the scheme allows them to make a lot of plays. They do a lot of stunts. Again, I can show you better than I can tell you. I'll pull up the tape right now.
I mean, Indiana, how many transfers they got from James Madison where he was?
Let's ask
a bunch of them.
Let's ask Chat or AI real quick. Let's see. How many
transfers from JMU does Indiana have?
Does Indiana, let me be specific, football have from JMU this season? Let's see. Indiana brought in a large group of former JMU players, but the exact number, it don't even have one.
I think it's about 15.
I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat has it. Jake says 13.
Yeah, 13. I think it's somewhere like that.
They were solid, but not elite. I would agree with that. I would say our defense was very solid. Elite status, I wouldn't put us there, but I would say very solid. Very solid defense for sure. Okay, passing defense nationally was number 9. Okay, good. No, yeah, I was about to say, I knew it was up there. Defense improved throughout the season. Okay with it. Just don't like the prevent D. Yeah, those soft zones, man. Never been a huge fan of them. I know a lot of people. Pete Golding does it with Ole Miss. You saw how that went. I mean, I like getting pressure on the quarterback. I do, especially when you have guys that are dudes in the back end. Like, if you have dudes that can play man to man, like I think you should play some man, bring some heat, bring some pressure, but you also got to mix it up, and that's where it comes, like fire zone coverage. Just was talking with folks about that, right? They're just little things that you can do that are slight little nuances that just give a little bit of a different picture. That way you're not just straight man to man. All right, now we're running invert 2, which they ran a whole hell of a lot of, which is good coverage. A lot of people are running a lot of invert 2 nowadays. It's kind of the new.
So basically what you're saying is 2026 is going to be all about Alabama's offense. If they get an offense, then they'll
No, I didn't say that. No. I did not say that. No. Let me repeat. I said defensively.
You said the defense is going to be good.
No, I didn't say that. No. I think you're in a better position, at least defensively, somewhat. But I'll be honest with you, the more I think about it, I think you're in an even situation. I think both sides of the football, you feel good about your skill groups. I know everybody's going to, what about the running backs? You get what I'm saying? I'm like, we'll see what happens there. We might even bring in a guy. But what I'm saying is, like, receiver, so even the young quarterbacks, but even the backs, so hopefully the backs can play better. I think some of these young backs have a lot of potential. Hopefully they can step up.
It really wasn't the backs. It's all about the offensive line.
There were some times that the backs were issues, but I would argue that a lot of it really was the execution up front more so, and the backs were probably like the second part of that. But what I'm getting at is the trenches. The answer is the trenches on both sides of the football. The front 7 on defense and the offensive line on offense. That, to me, is the answer. I think you can win with the receivers that we have. I think our running backs, if you coach them up and develop them the right way. Damn, bro, the pipe wasn't enough. Now you got a cigar. You got a cigarette and a black and mild coming up next. You just running through the roulette wheel. Jesus. Anyway, no, the trenches is going to be the
pipe.
Key.
Just a toke. This is a real cigar.
I mean, how about just some fresh natural air?
I got the window down.
No, but I'm saying like let's let the lungs breathe, right? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't inhale. It's just all about just relaxing, ain't really smoking.
Hey,
I'll blow it out.
deep breathe, meditate. But yeah, it's
I
all
meditate a lot on the scripture.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, if you guys haven't, man, hit that like button. We got like 108. I think we got like 150 something in here. Let's see if we can get to 125, man.
All right, let's Ty Simpson. A lot of people were saying how, I mean, David Pollard to the Hurst Streets, you know, they all going, oh man, this is what I'm talking about. That's this kind of guy, right? He know he's about the team. He turned down $6.5 million and said he didn't want to do Alabama. What did he say? His legacy. I had a problem with that word with him. Because I don't think he has no legacy.
Oh, see, now you about to start.
No, hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying.
Come on, man.
He played 1 year. What legacy? What legacy are the Alabama fans going to talk about Ty Simpson? No, they're going to talk about getting smoked by Georgia, getting smoked by Indiana.
I think they're saying, listen here, I think they're saying more individually, right? A guy that stuck it out during this era. You know what I mean?
I like the fact that his heart.
No. I'm hearing what you're saying, but let's not go down this road because people get. I already had my tweet yesterday, just trying to say let's make sure we're uplifting everybody. And I just couldn't help but wanting to acknowledge somebody who I feel like if people could go back in time, understanding of the nature of this beast. Some people, again, obviously not us. We never did that, but would maybe try to go about it a different way. And there still was a few people on that side of things that's still just making it about stuff that it has nothing to do with. It's literally about these young men as individuals choosing this university when they could be like others and go pursue, you know, financial things, right? A lot of other stuff. Anyway, that said, just real quick, listen, everybody in their own right has their own legacy, right? It is what it is. And I think with him, it's a guy that stayed committed. He went through multiple quarterback battles, finally won
and
it.
I respect all of that. That's his legacy.
Yeah, right.
His legacy.
That's his legacy. And I don't think anybody's going to sit there. That's why I was trying to just correct you real quick. I don't think they're talking about because the reality of the matter is, I mean, no, he left. He didn't win an SEC championship. He didn't win in a national championship. And if any, that's why when people kept bringing stuff up, trying to compare the two over my tweet, which I'm like, I'm not wasting my time on this. This is ignorant. It had nothing to do with. No, talking about the two quarterbacks like Jalen and Ty. I was like, I'm not even doing that. But I'm like, people that wanted to bring that up are typically kind of trying to bash Milroe. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. But if we're being completely honest, I mean, one guy actually did win the SEC championship. So I mean, like that completely kind of destroys.
I think Jalen Milroe had more success than Ty Simpson.
Again, I don't want to get into this conversation because we're mature enough to have it without it being weird and people bringing in a whole bunch of other factors. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that can't handle that without turning into race, politics, and all other stuff. So I would rather just not even waste the time here because that's when it starts going south. I'm all about positive. I'm like my guy Al, who's on here, man. He says NFC, negativity free zone or negative free zone. I like that, man. That's how I'm trying to do our thing over here. I ain't got time for people that can't read a tweet that literally says literally, this takes nothing away from anybody, uplift everybody. Let's just make sure that we do this with everybody in this day and age. And of course, people take that stuff the wrong way. But that's hear me out. You're not wrong. I wish we could have these conversations without people getting weird.
You can have conversation.
I'm saying people turn into stuff that is not even anything. But no, I think that actually is What do you mean?
I'm just talking about the fact that the legacy thing. I don't think he has no legacy yet. The legacy is that he was a young man that didn't like a lot of other these kids jump around and hop around to different schools.
Yeah, but
I respect the fact that I respect the fact that he stood there and waited on his opportunity and he won the starting job and he did a decent job. But there's no pinpoint legacy from on the field you can look at. But you can look at as a person. Yes, he has a legacy as a young man that did it the right way. Now, I think he was crazy to turn down $6.5 million. Now a lot of people haven't.
No. Let me answer that one. Let me be clear because people brought that up too. Because again, they were trying to compare that with that conversation. Again, what I said had nothing to do with what they did, stats. It literally was just you had two young men who both had opportunities, not comparing. I said similar, not the same. Similar opportunities, meaning they could have gone and chased and pursued other opportunities for more money, but they chose to stick it out, fight, compete. And the whole time that they were here, both of them exemplified what it meant to be a student athlete here at the University of Alabama. They rep the A with class, pride, and always put Alabama first and foremost. That was literally all I meant to say, and that's all it should have been. But but to your point, if people want to compare play, we do it all the time with sports, but for whatever reason, when it comes to an African American quarterback and a white quarterback, people start getting weird and bringing race, and it shouldn't have nothing. We should be able to compare two players like they do in a barbershop like Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, and it'd be normal. I don't know why it's so stupid that we can't compare two quarterbacks just because they have two different skin colors and it all becomes about race. I think that's more of a reflection of people's own character and immaturity than anything else. But again, I understand. Unfortunately, people don't think the way I think and the way a lot of other people think, and that's unfortunate. That said, in terms of Milroe and basically everything that he had on his situation, I mean, he could have pursued.
I mean, Milroe has zero to do with this. I'm not even talking about Milroe.
So go back to your point. I apologize.
My point is, I'm not talking about Jalen Milroe. I'm just saying, my point is Ty Simpson. I'm talking about the brother that turned down $6.5 million. I care less about Jalen Milroe in this situation. I'm saying, he looking at the draft. He might be the second or third quarterback taken in this draft, and that could be third round because this is not some really great quarterback draft.
No. He's no. I was going to say, listen, after Dante Moore announced he was coming back to school, I think
he's number 2 quarterback behind Fernando.
Right. So in that case, if you're the quarterback, even if you're quarterback 3, I mean that's like an 80% chance you're a first round draft pick. There's going to be at least 3 football teams in the National Football League that need quarterbacks. That said, my thing is, it kind of, when you look at it from that perspective, and I'm not saying this to take anything away from Ty. Let me preface by saying that before people act weird. To be fair, the bare minimum signing bonus guarantee for a first round pick is like $7.5 million. So technically, with him knowing, and his dad and his camp said they got all first round grades from everybody that they spoke to. That said,
so did Shedeur Sanders.
He might have. That's a fair point. I'm just saying, if you look at it from that perspective, turning down $6.5 million, knowing that there's a really good chance you are a first round draft pick and the signing bonus is more, is not as like you can't look at him like, man, why would you like? It makes sense why he probably had an easier time turning down $6.5 million. Does that make sense? Because the guarantee.
We know that wasn't Alabama offering $6.5 million.
No, it was Miami. He came out and he had names. He put names on it. He said, I'm snitching on everybody. I know who I'm not going and doing nothing I shouldn't be doing with. Ty Simpson going to sing like Jermaine Dupri. I'm just saying. I mean, I ain't never heard people put names on it. I mean, he Ole Miss 4, Tennessee 4, and you can't forget Miami is 6.5 and a yacht. Like I'm like, nah, yeah. Ty.
Wait a minute, hold on. 6.5 and a yacht.
I know I made up the yacht. I'm just saying. I mean, listen, you can rent yachts in Miami. That's very common, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure he can get a yacht anytime he wants to with that 6.5. Well, they probably got the booster going to hook him up with that. But listen, money isn't everything. I get all that. Money is not everything. And I'm joking, but at the same time, I don't know. I think he's not ready. Based on what I've seen. I don't think he's ready to step into the National Football League. And, because of a weak quarterback class, could he be quarterback 2 or 3? Probably. But it doesn't mean that he's ready. That means he might have a short-lived career versus going $6.5 million for 10 months. Going to work out, get a quarterback coach, work on your game, go down to South Beach, 85, 90-degree weather, being on the beach, playing in a weak, watered-down conference like the ACC. Mario Cristobal, one thing, he's going to have an offensive line, something you did not have in Alabama. He's going to have you got number 10 right there. You also got a chance to get your name right back into the Heisman Trophy conversation. You got a chance to do so many other things. And you talking about that could be an investment. Yes, 6.5 is good, but if you sneak and become QB1, you talking about $40 million. So my thing is
the other side. What if he goes to Miami, then he plays bad? What if he goes down there?
He got $6.5 million, and he'll still get a chance to go to the National Football League and do what he needed to do.
You just mentioned the weak quarterback draft class, and he's more than likely a first-round pick. That's what I'm saying. So let's just use our logic here. Go down to Miami for $6.5 million. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. You get a guaranteed 6.5. Great vacation for 8, 9, 10 months, whatever.
Playing in Miami.
Yeah, that's great.
Playing in the Atlantic Cupcake Conference, the ACC.
100%. But hear me out, though. What I'm saying is right now, you just said it. You hit the nail on the head. That's the big thing right here. This quarterback draft class is not a strong class, and he is widely regarded as probably the 2, maybe 3rd best quarterback in this class. He is going to be a first-round draft pick based off of that alone. The draft pool alone, he should probably be a first-round draft pick. I agree with you that I don't think he's ready to be a day one starter. I don't. Anybody that knows the league or play the position would be the first one to say he needs more time. There's nothing wrong with saying that. But what I'm saying is he could get in a position where he has the opportunity to sit back a year, hopefully. I think that would be best for him because I look at Bryce Young. I know how talented Bryce Young was, how intellectually smart Bryce Young was. That probably made no sense, intellectually smart, but how intellectual Bryce was. You know what I mean? And it took him, 3 years? Granted, going to the Carolina Panthers, who I played for, I'm well understanding that they lack in a lot of areas as an organization. But now you look at him excelling. I think Ty could, if Ty could be in a situation where Bryce ended up getting benched briefly, and I think that was one of the best things for him because now look at how he's playing. He's really flourishing now. He needed that time to kind of take a step back. I think Ty does need to sit there. If he could end up in a good situation, I think that would be best. Like a team that doesn't necessarily throw him right there in the fire. That would be ideal. But in terms of making the decision probably was easier for him because even Coach Saban would tell you, if you have a first-round grade, go. Right? And this would be like an extra year for Ty. Ty was a 4th-year guy. It's not like he was like a redshirt sophomore. I know he didn't play because he had been competing. He's a 4th-year guy. This would have been his 5th year. So when you're comparing the slot values and stuff like that, I don't think it's as crazy to think about like, oh, he turned down $6.5 million because again, the 32nd pick is slotted at about $7.5 million. I would argue as quarterback too, you're looking more at the latest mid first round at the latest. That's at the latest, and that's about $14 or so million. Top 2 picks, you're looking at about 30 something. And I'm talking about signing bonus and not total contract value. So I'm just saying you got to look at the whole picture here. I think honestly, after finding out that Dante Moore came back, without a doubt, I think he made the right decision. Why even risk it? Because next year's class, everybody's going to be riding Arch Manning. You got Julian Sand, you got Marcel Reed. I mean, there's probably a couple others that I'm
North Sellers.
Sellers, exactly. He came back to school, right? Dante Moore now in next year's class. Come on now. Let's just call a spade a spade. There's a chance Ty drops to maybe quarterback 5 in next year's class if he doesn't have a phenomenal year. He could move up to quarterback 1/2 next year. You don't know. But I think you're playing a little bit more of a risky game at this point, knowing this year's class is right there. I mean,
yeah.
Plus,
some
listen.
People are willing to bet on themselves, and some people aren't.
Well, I know what I would say is sometimes that inexperience, while it can work against you, and it will work against you majority of the time, one could argue that as a quarterback, sometimes that inexperience kind of leaves a little bit of questioning, like, hey, well, he's still young, he hadn't played a bunch, he's going to get even better, versus trying to come back.
I do think Ty's in the right system, and the NFL is going to be a good player.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, listen, he's got all the intangibles that you need. Arm strength is going to be a big question mark for him. His stature, physically, they're going to question that, even though, I mean, he's a lot bigger than a guy like Bryce Young. I mean, he's probably like 6'1", like an actual 6'1".
He's bigger than that, isn't he?
No, I think he's going to measure 6'1" and some change. He could end up being 6'2". But I'm saying, how they measure. They're going to get that actual. I wouldn't be surprised if he's, just shy of 6'2". Probably right around.
I thought he was 6'3" or 4".
No, sir. No, a lot of people do, but in person, he's probably at 6'2" at most on an actual scale or actual measure. So they're probably going to question that a little bit. I know people have already brought that up. But I think, the intangibles alone that he offers are big. And listen, I think if he can just go out there and not test well like athletically, but I'm saying more so like throwing, if he goes and throws really well, they're going to pair that with all those intangibles that we saw, but then they're going to question the inconsistencies towards the end.
Well, but that's based on offensive line, because if you look at when he had time, when he had protection, he's probably the best quarterback in the country. If he has time to scan the field and do all his thing. His problem was pressure. His problem was when he felt, blitzes and dogs and getting people in his face, he didn't perform well, which to me lacks a little bit, decisiveness, because you want to be able to pull it and run, which he can run, and he didn't do that enough. But anyway, that's all I got on Tyson. I just want to throw that out there.
No, I mean, listen, a great conversation. Again, I wish we could even compare quarterbacks and their legacies without it being weird. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are too immature to handle just a sports conversation. And it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
No, there's no comparison with that. There's no comparison. Jalen was a 2-year starter, did a lot of great things. He won an SEC, won more games, won big games, Auburn game on the road, that throw, getting them even in the playoffs.
No, if you're talking about body of work, no, I don't see how you.
Jalen has a much better body of work, and if you're looking at that, that's all you got to go on. There's no conversation, in my opinion.
Well, that's what most people go on when they compare guys like Jordan and LeBron. You know what I mean?
That's all you got. I ain't talking about both of them are great student athletes, great teammates, great locker room players. Both of them A+ in my opinion in that regard. So, but on the field, Jalen Milroe did much more. You talking about look at what he done with his legs plus passing the football. He gave you much more threat. So to me, there's really no argument. I don't even know why anybody wants to argue that.
Well, like I said, what I posted had nothing to do with it. It was just there's people that were trying to bring that in the equation. I was just like, I don't even want to go there. But if people really wanted to, I mean, you could make an argument for a lot of things. You can make an argument when people talk about how bad of a thrower Milroe was. I heard somebody saying that. I'm like, he definitely was inconsistent, and Ty is definitely a better passer of the football. However, you got to be careful just throwing that out in a general term like that, because Jalen Milroe statistically and by the eye test was a much better deep ball thrower than Ty Simpson. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. And honestly, like from a sports conversation, it's a fun little debate you can go back and forth with. But people just kind of take it way beyond that. I had this tape pulled up. I know you probably don't feel like watching right now, but I was going to say, I mean, in terms of what Indiana did offensively, tape will show it. I mean, we got aggressive and they capitalized on it, but you're also playing a quarterback. I just urge anybody, if you haven't really watched Mendoza play, guys, I mean, this dude plays with, timing, anticipation, accuracy. I mean, this dude, you call him a baby giraffe all you want, by the way, like the giraffes that just came out of the womb and they're hobbling around, can't even keep balance. You can call him that all you want, boy. He can play quarterback, man. He
is a white man can't jump quarterback. Like you saw him.
He can run.
I'm just saying that, meaning that if you look at him just from the physical thing, goofiness and all that, you're not going to pick him. Right? You might pick up more athletically, Anthony Richardson. Oh yeah, but this guy comes and slices you and dices you.
Yeah, he'll do that for sure. Way we started this game, though, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, listen, Kane Womack was tapped in. We were talking about force the issue, bring the heat. I mean, you see him. He brought the dogs, right? We bring both backers here. Hell, we even bring the damn Husky on this. But then we pop the Bandit, and we have a tackle drop, you know what I mean, playing man behind. 2 low hole players. I mean, nowhere to go. Sack. I'm not gonna lie. I was optimistic, man. First play of the game. Sack. Great call, right? It's about as good as it got, man, this first series. Talking about their ability to run the ball. This is on second level players. Guys up front did their job, right? You see Yanze right here. He's in let me see from the back end. He's in a 9 technique, but it looks like he's supposed to be playing the C gap. I'll be honest with you. This is what I mean by sometimes I'm confused about the structure here. Right? Because he's in the 9 technique. If he's in the 9 technique, he's supposed to be in the D gap. Unless they're on a path, which they're not. So why is
he's not D gap because 18 is Alex.
No, but I'm telling you, if it hit by alignment, if he is a true C gap player, he should be in it. That's what I'm saying. I think, again, and by talking to folks,
you bring in pressure, so you got.
They're not bringing pressure. 18's not bringing pressure. He's just coming down and run support. Listen, look, watch him. That's not pressure. He's triggering on the run because he's coming down to support. That's all that is. This is what I'm saying. I almost think they have the luck. Like sometimes I don't think they have defined rules. I'm telling you, not even I think, bro. I always got to. I try to not to be too. I'm telling you what I know, bro. Sometimes the rules are a little muddy, and that's when they end up getting gashed. That's what I'm saying. Like scheme can help that. Scheme can help that, but what the dude just try to jump on Bray? But you see the guys up front, they're fitting it up. They're getting it kicked, right? We're getting it kicked, which if that's how you're playing it.
You always wanted to bounce, hold, and that way 2 should come up, make the play.
Exactly, but I was about to say we're getting cracked right here. We got to be replacing them, so that's on 2's got to trigger quicker.
Because if he don't make that play, that could be a touchdown.
Yeah, but you can't be mad at the guys up front. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
When he see that slot cracks down, he got to go, bam. Now he got to wait till he block it. They'll sell that crack block, and then they'll hit him right down the seam. So he's smart, holding, and then going. You got to make sure it's run, right? Because that could be a form of an RPO.
Crack replace. But yeah, I mean, 2 does make. Oh, he doesn't. But he just got a trigger on that.
I mean, that's just horrible tackling technique.
I mean, he's a corner guy. I mean, come on now.
No matter. It's football.
He's a corner, man.
Corner has to tackle. They do.
They do. And he actually.
So you can't go in there and lay out. Go hit the freaking dude. That's what I'm talking about right here.
Listen, but how many corners are you actually banking they're going to really go drive on that and run support?
Go friggin' take his legs out.
I can name maybe one guy off the top of my head that I would bank. Marlon Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey at cornerback would be that dude. Like, come on now. Name another cornerback that you just say, oh, yeah, he's going to run up on that. Trigger on that run.
He said the guy at the ball, go.
Yeah,
go hit him.
And he's normally a pretty physical.
Look at his feet. Watch his head go down.
He's got a trigger on that. I'm with you. But come on, man. All right, it's early in the game. All right, cool. We get it, man. I mean, but again, that's not on the guys up front, though. I mean, they
do what they're supposed to. 2 got to come up and read it, believe what your eyes see, and go freaking make the play. 2, go make the play.
But to be fair, like you said, if he don't make that play, though, I mean, look at
man. It could be a touchdown. Everybody has to do their job, and that's what Bray was talking about one time. It's about sometimes one guy having a mental breakdown, don't be in the right gap, and they give up 6. That's why it's important.
And that's why I'm saying
being gap sound.
I hear you, but this is what I'm talking about. Some of the stuff doesn't really make. I know he's getting cracked, but if you got 42 in a 9 technique, why is he not working outside? That's what I'm saying.
Then maybe he's supposed to. Maybe he's wrong. I think he is wrong. He's got to be upfield. He's got to make the ball turn back inside. 42. Look at his head. He gets nosy, gets inside. Now he's going to try to fight to get outside. See him trying to fight to get outside right here.
That's why I'm saying the rules are muddy. I'll be honest with you. Look like they're in some type of man concept.
I don't know. Let's go next.
Cover 0. And they're getting a sack. I mean, this is a great way to start the game. It's phenomenal. 2 sacks in the first series. Can't ask for much more than that. But this is what I'm saying. But then you see this end up catching us later on. They hit us on a touchdown. We line up in cover 0.
Okay.
They already know what's coming, right?
Look at the right side.
Well, but we already know this. I mean, hell, people that play Madden know this. I mean, listen, if you're going to blitz, I mean, like you're aggressive, right?
No, I'm talking about the right side. Go back. Go to the end zone copy.
You talking about up front?
Yeah, see, 3 right here gets in the bare front. Anytime they come down, he slides them out. It's called bare. Now, that's probably his man, that tight end. He blocks, now he replaces. He goes. That's what you see. But now, if they miss this sack, look at the tight end going to be wide open because that's number 3's guy.
What's a bust?
Right. See right here? See that the tight end's wide open. Now, freeze.
No, I see it. I'm telling you.
Okay, he's got, but that's where the tight end's taught. Okay, he knows 3 has got him. He reaches out to number 11 is the force. 3 says, you know what? I'm gonna go. Now, the tight end becomes what? Good thing that they get to him because that's another big gain if they don't. See, teams watching film like this and they see. I mean,
see the run stunt? We started working more of this stuff, and it actually was pretty effective. You see 90, who's working at a nose, which this is why I'm saying we need to know is this dude is much better fit to be a 3. Just like he's more, like both of these guys, like this is what I'm saying. We don't have a real nose. That's why I hope we get this Oregon guy. Because these guys are 3 techniques. But they'll play some nose because we don't really have anybody else, especially now that Tim Keenan's gone. But there's that run stunt. Does a nice job chopping it up, dicing it up. But see, like, this is the only thing. So real quick, so everybody, even though I know I said I think that guy ends up settling that Bandit, but again, he's going to lose some weight because he's all at 290. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Bandit, like this is LT out here. So for everybody that just goes, oh yeah, he's at Bandit again. I know I said that too, but again, I'm thinking behind the lines of he's probably going to have to, consciously drop some shed some weight. You're telling me you feel good about just a 290-pound guy out here like that?
yeah, but I think they got him out there because they expect him to run.
No, 100%. No, he can do it. That's LT. I'm saying the guy we just brought in. Everybody's quick to just say, oh yeah, we're bringing in this guy from USC. And I already talked to them up there. They expect him to be a little bit more of an interior guy. So I'm just saying what I saw out of him from an interior guy, they're going to have to really coach him up. But it's hard to coach a physical player. I mean, you either physically or not. And he's not the most physical guy against the run. He's just not. It's just me being honest. But you see how they're using
just getting lined up too late, man.
But I think that guy from from USC, I mean, if you're trying to let them penetrate and stuff like that, I think he'd be good doing that kind of stuff. But I'm not a big fan of the whole penetrate. I mean, like, I'm not. Because this is what it leads to. When you're shooting gaps and penetrating, you're just opening up holes.
Yeah, but they should have made the tackle. Watch 16.
Dude, but I'm still not a fan of it, man.
Look, hold on.
I know.
16 right here. They still talking. Go. He should run. His job is to go. He hesitates. Watch.
I see it.
Late call, hesitates right here. He should have hit this gap from the get-go. He got help outside, 2 and 22. Go. He hesitates. This is why this play is successful. He got to get in that gap and make the play. But believe what your eyes see, read, react, and go.
I got you. But I'm looking more at scheme. I know from a technical standpoint, I mean, we can nitpick all that.
I'm talking about how to play the game.
I know, but this is, to me, what's a little bit more of a question mark. I mean, you got one guy coming out, great technique, hands and hips, right? Then you got another guy that's shooting the gap, penetrating, and I don't really see anybody working behind him. So I'm like,
well, because they don't know what's going on because the call they're late.
So okay, but I've seen this before. So my question is, what are we coaching? Like, what technique are we coaching? So that's what I'm saying. Like, are we penetrating? Are we trying to get?
You can tell by what the line. I mean, yeah, you are 90 is stunting. You see his first movement, right foot gone. So that's a stunt. He has a predetermined move.
Is it a stunt? Well, who's filling off of him?
For number 90, there's 16 got to go. 16, that's what I'm saying. 90 stunting, who replaces 16? He hesitates. And you got the backer right there, the field.
What's the down and distance?
You said better from the end zone, copy.
No. Where's the down and distance? This is first down. So it's second down. Listen, I ain't never heard of no I mean, unless they're just expecting pass. But I'm saying, like, if you're talking about running some type of pressure where you got a Husky filling in where does he end up? Like C gap like that? Like
Dylan, I mean, whoever numbers that, I can't forget his name. What's Zero's name?
Lawson.
He's playing pass. He ain't looking at the line. He's out there.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is an RPO system, so.
Yeah, no, but you got to play run first.
You do, but to be fair though,
it ain't no to be fair. If I'm coaching this guy, you coach Lawson, read guard to the quarterback or the back. Play with your eyes. You just don't turn and run out here.
I'm with you. He probably should play run first, but what I'm telling you is, yes, you're right.
He didn't even look where his eyes
I get you. He should not just automatically do that. But what I'm telling you is, this is an RPO system. He can pull this football. So what I'm saying is,
if he pulls it, then you turn and run. Get back to your coverage.
I got you, gang. I got you. But what I'm telling you is, yes, we can agree. He should play run first. But he also, as a linebacker, that's stressful knowing you're seeing this and they watch tape. I'm just telling you, they seen this on tape where this team has pulled this football and
they get paid money now to do that.
Jesus Christ, bro. You don't listen, man.
I do this, and I know. I played it for a lot of years. You didn't
play against RPO though. This is new. It
don't matter. I play based on.
I played in RPO.
Your fundamentals are the same.
I agree, brother. But I'm telling you, you have listen. If he goes, listen. Now let's take the opposite approach. Let's say he goes way off the deep end and plays and triggers on the run. These little stick routes, little quick little. Like, that's easy. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're waiting on you to over pursue the run. So yes, I agree. Listen, he should read his keys, even step. Hell, not mad at him taking a step.
Slow play it.
But I'm just saying though, this team is like that. That's what makes this system hard to defend. Like, it's tough, man. On a linebacker, I'm telling you. I mean, I play against RPO system. It is hard, man, because all your keys are telling you one thing. And you got these fuckers behind you just running, and like you're literally like it's a conflict. It's hard. So I'm not too.
The game is hard. But it's no excuse.
Oh my, bro! I wish you could play against these systems and things that they do. Like, I'll give you all the credit in the world. When you played, you were having to really close on some big, that's why y'all big meatheads, fullbacks coming out the backfield, banging and stuff. But y'all. Lead, ISO, counter, power. Oh, here comes the old non-athletic.
Here's what I do know. This is what's taught. Fundamentals. Here's what's taught. Here's this chat. Check this out, chat. This guy linebacker, you play, you read. You read your line. You're on that guard, you read the guard. He pops up, it's pass. That's why you shouldn't be running downhill at the offensive line. Let's read the guard. Let's see the guard. So he shows probably, okay, he steps. I don't have to go running in there. I can sit. They teach the linebacker to sit for a minute until they determine what you're doing. Now, if he pulls it, I turn and run back to this hook to get underneath this route right here in the slots. I get in we call this, catch this word, get into the passing zone. Yeah. That's why these guys are not taught football. This is you talking PlayStation. I'm talking about reading and react.
Bro, you sound crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I'm talking PlayStation. Dude, I'm telling you what actually has happened on the field. You're not even acknowledging that it's an RPO. I'm talking real football. No, you're not.
Listen, that's why I said zero. Sit. You sit here, linebacker, sit. I see he got it. Bam, I attack. I go blow it up. Once I see the back got the ball, bam! I don't go running. I sit. Chop my feet. Run. Go.
You just come. You just
said pass.
You said I'm reading my keys. I go attack. Dead in the water. Pass hitting behind you. That's what the RPO does. That's what I'm telling you.
I said RPO game. I sit and chop my feet. I sit here till everything is determined.
Mind. Do you want the guy triggering like you just said? Do you want him chopping his feet? What do you want him to do?
I want him to sit. I want him to sit. I want him to sit.
So make up your mind. You just said that he needs to be triggered. Now you're saying he needs to be.
No, I didn't never say trigger. I said he needs to sit.
Go attack, bang. What was that? So he's going to.
I said once it's determined, then you attack.
Brother, the whole line.
Nah, what he does, he just turn. He don't even look here. He just turned and go to the receiver. The quarterback still got the ball in the belly of the running back. Look at it. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. Tell me that I'm wrong.
Bro, you got to listen.
Look at 41. This is what I'm talking about. 41 is sitting. He ain't attack. He ain't getting in the coverage. He sits. He's reading. Now he see run. The lineman pops out. He goes attacks.
Yeah, cool. But now let me tell you this though.
That's
now
perfect.
It
perfect.
is. Yeah, that sounds good. But then you put this on this action on this side and say he's got a slant coming behind him, and that lineman locks onto him, and he's not letting him pull off of that. Who's on that slant? Oh, you got 3 coming from downhill.
Well, if he's sitting
and you got
that lineman comes out there, that's a lineman down the field. That's a flag.
Man, I'm telling you what I know. Guys, please listen to some. I played against this system.
Okay. That's why they got their nose bloody. Yeah. Okay. You played against, but they doing what they doing is YNN them. It drugged them. Took them to the woodshed.
That's not why. I'll tell you what's happening. You got 90 that's penetrating right here. Nobody's filling, right? So you just open up a big gap. 41's trying to attack physically.
No, that's your field right there with his knees on the ground. 16. That's your field right there. Get in that gap. That's your field. That's his play.
You're right. He should listen. If that's I'm assuming that's what they're running right here.
That's his play. That's why he's inside. He just got to shoot.
But the reason I'm confused on this, because initially he looks like that. Why is he turning back into this guy trying to block? I don't understand what he's doing right there. That's what I'm saying. I can't. It's hard for me to even diagnose.
That's called ME. I bet you got a negative on the play.
But see, he don't even know what the hell is going on.
None of them do.
Oh man, let's keep going, man. I can't. This is gonna raise my damn blood pressure. I'm about to borrow one of your damn pills.
I got many of them.
I know. Listen, I'm just telling you, man. Like, you're not wrong. I agree with you that you always play the run first. But I'm just saying, like, he was way too quick to jump out there. But I'm telling you, when you watch tape and he watched tape, he probably
freeze it right here, Christian. What as an inside back? I'm not talking about the edge guys. Totally different. As an inside back, because I played both of a long time too. Mike and Mo. We call Mo, which is the weak side inside back.
Mike will.
What is he? What's your read here? What do you think he's read? 41 or 0?
Wait, which one?
Either one. They should be reading through the guard to the back. That's what the initial reads are. All right, lineman, you know this is pass. Watch the linemen's.
Yeah, no, it's clear as day. Keys, right?
Right, they pop up. Now look at 0.
What about him?
Okay, now you got 41. They got freeze. Anytime they run a quarterback, they call it sprint rollout.
Sprint out, yeah.
Right. Now they doing 41's doing what he's supposed to do. They roll out, go. He went to the alley, he did his job.
So I got this sun in my face. I can't see. They're playing man coverage right here. So I mean,
come on, I'm saying I'm giving them a check mark. Good.
I'm telling you what's happening. They're playing man right here, right?
I know they are.
16 man on the point.
Yeah, they are.
What's happening right here is 41's triggering because those backers, I'm assuming, are probably
they block, roll out, they go
banjoing on that back or whatever you term y'all used to call it, same thing. And so he's just triggering because exactly the back is his guy, so he's triggering on that. He's probably taught he can trigger, pull up the quarterback, right? So I mean, there's not really a whole bunch of
that's easy play. There. Go to another one.
There ain't really nothing to really go off of. Wait, what's the down and distance? We got 1st and 10. Sorry, guys. This sun is in my face. I can't see. All right. But see, this is what I'm saying. I don't think they were running some with 16 to trigger like that. Maybe they were. I think it was supposed to be more something like this and some because look, now you're seeing you got a little bit of a run stunt, right? 94.
It's quick pass. Zip. This should be a zip screen. Yep.
They're running a little bit of a stunt, right? You see Tim rapping.
Half motion, quick pass.
I like 16 though. He plays hard. He's physical. I know you just were getting on him for not triggering like that. That's fine.
Okay, we'll go back.
He'll go put his nose in there though on a lot of this stuff on these receivers trying to block him. Close the shades, guys. They are pretty closed. I can try to close it a little bit more. And yep, you're right. Sorry. I guess I'm just that slow. I didn't realize the other one was a little bit open. This is gold. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This guy's stressing me out. Hey, if you guys like breakdowns and the back,
sure, I'm just telling you how I'm being a coach. You were inside the film.
Damn it, let me tell him to hit the like button, man.
Smash it, as you say. Smash it.
There you go.
Bam.
Smash that like button. If you guys like the tape, man, hit that like button. Smash that.
Okay,
like
freeze for a minute. Let me coach for a minute. You got a 3-on-3 right here. You're a defender. Freeze. You got a 3-on-3. Slot guy, you got him playing up, right? You got to be able to anticipate this, especially because you should have watched film. Anytime they do short motion, half motion, I promise you, they already know this is coming, right? He's the widest. He's the outside guy. You're taught as the guy on the slot to attack. But the problem is 16 attacks and takes himself out of the play. I like the aggression, but by him going up the field this way instead of playing the man square, look at the hole he opens up.
Fair.
16 gets knocked out of play because his angle is wrong. You're taught to go down the middle. That way you can play. If the guy goes outside, shrug, we call it shrug, get rid of the offensive guy inside, you fall off on the outside, make the play. But because he goes up the field, now look, he just block. That's called blocking yourself. Now the new slot guy, he's head up. Look where he's at. Right? This play should be dead in the water. But because they get out of position, you give up too much room and you get 7-8 yards.
Well, I don't like this. You got to trigger, right?
No, you got to go. He stops.
Excuse me, firing your gun, right? You got to fire. You can't sit there and try to slow play. Because listen, you're out here and listen, trigger because all your help is inside. Now, obviously, keep outside leverage, but you just go trigger on that and hope that obviously these guys are running to the football. We got to.
They are.
Can't get manhandled.
Here's my other problem, Christian. I'm mad with who's coaching the D-line right now, and I'm gonna tell you, or the secondary, because why am I late? Either I'm getting a call in late, defensive coordinator, woman.
That's
we should not be moving in the last minute, and they snapping the ball. You're beat. Watch this. This is about the 5th time I just saw this. They're gonna try to. Well, this one they don't, but the other one they moving and the balls are getting snapped.
Well, that's because this is an outside linebacker, and he's young. So, I mean, obviously, you got him tearing the front, and he's got to walk. He's got to go out there on 2. So, I mean, that's normal. But he just needs a trigger on that. We can't be so soft on it, man. You just got to blow that up.
Good play right there, too.
Tackle. Yeah. Yeah, 2.
Good play. Now he attacks. Now he kind of slowed up a little bit, but he attacks. You see it? Ball, go. That's what I'm talking about right there, too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Go make the play.
Watch the guys up front. See, they did a bunch of this. I mean, you see.
Now, this is better by 0-41. Balls, this obvious pass. They ain't running up. They sit.
Well, I mean, it's
that's
a little
better.
Bit different, right? I mean, there's.
Linemen pop up, or they don't even pop up, but still the quarterback just turns and throw. That's obvious pass.
I was about to say it's different. It's not RPO, it's screen. So, I mean, it's a little bit different. That's what I'm telling you. RPO game is a different animal.
I know, but I still can play the RPO game because I slow.
No,
we
but
used to call that slow play.
Well, you have
like
to.
Play action, RPO play action passes. Now we look at it as the same. We played it the same.
It's not
slow play it as an inside backer. You slow play it.
You definitely have to slow play it, and that was my whole point. You know what I mean? Like I just was trying to make sure you understand. Like you can't be coaching your backers playing again. God dang, man. Just listen. I'm saying you can't coach your backers going into this game and being aggressive, triggering downhill like that because you got stuff behind you, right? They have coverage responsibility. So yes, slow play would definitely be the move, 100%. That's all I was saying. I was in agreement. He shouldn't just turn out and run, but he also shouldn't be just triggering into alignment where you could have somebody behind you. Now you have nobody in coverage.
Okay, that's like the defense tight box. You got offensive lineman in here, so you know it's run. For Pierre messes up the play. Pierre goes outside. He runs from the pressure, tries to beat it. He's supposed that this is a close and spill situation. Here's what's taught. Here's another teaching moment for those that on the chat.
Yeah,
as a Sam backer, if that tight end pops out the block like that and you got a guy, as a Sam, you're taught to close. Look back inside.
They also went jumbo, and that's a tackle.
I know, but jumbo means just extra tight end. He pops out, boom, I got to still attack. He goes up the field, which could be dangerous because you open up. Look at you open up a bigger hole.
Gap. He's wrong, but this is what I'm saying. I see too many times. This is it goes back to my point. Are they being what are their philosophies here? Because there's so many times these guys are out of their gap, so that it looks like they're freestyling. That's what I'm trying to explain about. There needs to be more structure. Because, I mean, like, I could never get away with that. And then what's the down and distance? Shouldn't
Start
even
third
matter.
and short.
I was about to say, yeah, but dude, maybe if it was like third and long or something and you're anticipating some type of play action, you're trying to be aggressive, but like we can't do that. You're right, 100%. You working upfield, that you're blocking yourself. You just open up.
Come on, Zero. Come on, Zero. Come on, Zero.
I don't know why I don't know where he's going. I mean, because all he had to do was just climb up the Bray, and that could have been a very explosive play. If that
94 pad level, he get drugged. That's what I'm talking about right here. This is what the embarrassment is. You get knocked 3-4 yards back. Watch it. Bam, look at knock back. Now you knocking the zero into the middle backer. So that guard gets 2 players. Tackle gets 2 players right there.
But see, this is why you need them big boys, man. Tim Keenan, though, he ain't going. He moving 2 of them. He breaking them down. Dang, we're gonna miss TK.
Come on, Bray. Come on. There we go.
Yeah, come on now, Bray. Bray got it. Bray got it. But see, this is what I'm saying. This is why, like, right now, in terms of nose, you got this guy who's not a true nose. They're both gone. And you got, what's his name? So that's what I'm saying. We don't have, like, he's too small. He ain't no nose, man. The only real nose you got, I guess, the dude from Mississippi State, and Simmons played it, but Simmons is a much better 3 technique. If he's got to play, he's got to play it. But
okay. There's got to be some kind of zone dog because Mike Becker goes here. Gone.
Looks like they're kind of running like a cross dog.
Like a cross buck. We call it a cross buck. Where the linebackers are crossing. That worked. Good play. Who's number 11?
He just transferred. I was about to say, for all the people that were kind of trying to clown him, talking about
I kind of like him. I've been watching him.
He's a heavy-handed dude. Now, I'll be honest. There's some plays I see where I'm like, we gotta be better. But so for all the people that are just like, oh, we need him. He was trash. Like, look at
he's not trash.
Nah, this is what should have been at Bandit. And
that's how you play. Look at that. Look at that. Bam! That's how you play Sam Levin. That's how you play the game right there. Watch he takes the body of the offensive lineman or tight end and put him inside. Watch this. Shoot the hands. Watch this. Play with leverage. Sharp pop. Now his hat should be.
No,
I guess he's a C-gap player.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is he a C-gap player? Because if he is, technically, you probably should position yourself in that gap. However, we'll take it though. I'll take the physicality. We're gonna put him.
But yeah, but look what he does. Look right. Stop right there. Yes, sir. That's how you play the game. You freaking you dismantle tight ends. That's what you do
100%.
as a linebacker.
I mean, if we want to nitpick, you definitely want to keep square and keep your outside arm.
I take that all day, every day, twice on Sunday.
And he gets off and makes a tackle.
That's how you play Sam linebacker.
Now, pass rush, we needed to get with them on that, but stay on the same team, fellas. Nah, we are. We just cutting up. Getting aggressive. What's the down and distance?
I got to get out of here. Look at this throw. Play action.
That's your boy Sav on that one, man.
All right, you got a safety blitz here.
Yeah, we're in man coverage.
Now, why does 42 go inside?
Hold on, I was looking on the back end. We're playing man on the back end. That's a bust. That's what I'm saying. Like the structure. This is what I've been saying. It's like the structure has me scratching my head. Like, I just don't are we just letting them freestyle or are we holding them accountable? Because if he's going inside, his ass is contained. Nobody's contained here. Like, what are we doing? If that's a mobile quarterback, but this is what I'm saying. When I see it showing up consistently, I'm almost like, there's no way we're just having that many mental errors. I almost feel like we're allowing it. We're almost just telling guys like, shit, do what you do. I don't know how else to explain it. I think
go to the end zone copy.
I think he knows he's supposed to be in contain, but that tackle overset him, and he had the inside. And I think he just tried to.
If you know.
But if that's the
this
case,
is
then
how
he
when
needs
players
to
get on
make
the
them right.
same page. When you do this so much in practice, you can say, hey, man, if he jumps out like I'm gonna take the inside, but read off of me. Now you just replace. We call it replace. If I go inside, then 18, you got to now you become force, and you get upfield and become the force, and now outside. But if you're not on the same page in that, then y'all gonna end up in the same gap, and now you cause a train wreck.
Yeah, you can't have that, especially when you got man coverage on the back end. You got to help these guys out. We can't just stack on top of each other like that. I mean, this is what I was saying about if we're going to bring pressure, we got to get home, right? Like this is why you have to execute. Indiana, when they do these kind of things, they're executing, right? They're getting home.
But watch this throw though, Christian. He know this is going to be a deep out. I mean, this is called scissors wrap somewhat.
Let me just forget this camera or this light, man.
Wow.
I told you that boy is good, man.
Anytime if you get a defensive back to turn get him turned around like he just did, you beat. And when you got quarterbacks that's so good, you beat.
But again, I'm finding it hard to blame our guys on the back end because I mean, look at all this time he has. These are slow developing plays, and we just brought what 6?
And you give him a clean pocket. It should not happen.
No, we only brought 5. Sorry.
We call that some type of dog. Yeah, because you drop 2 guys out.
Yeah, basically some low hole players.
Those are called zone dogs.
So we ain't got no rush. I mean, we getting hemmed up across the board. That's why it's imperative. Like this is why the little details matter. Like, this is why you have to stay outside and give this. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a huge deal here because the back just talk about these guys, but the backs were great in pass pro too. By the way, I mean Indiana, they just don't. They execute, man. They execute.
I don't like these dogs because really they haven't gotten exposed in a lot of it. But like last one, you asked Zero to have it be a flat player coming away from the inside. I mean, it's like that's crazy. But again, you do it sometimes hoping that the pressure gets there.
We're running the stun up here. If you look at the bottom, 23 is going upfield, and we're bringing 42 looping underneath, right? Or wrapping. Let me see what happens up top. But see, this is the only problem with 11. This is my problem with 11. Like, you see that one play where he, physically is dominant, and then we got another play like this. But like I said, I ain't trying to tell all this business. I don't want to get in trouble. But, he definitely – he had 2 – he was battling 2, not 1, but 2. So, I mean, I just we talk about other guys.
Yeah, but hold on. This is the problem I have with the stupid defense. Right,
Dang,
you don't put 11. This is not taking advantage of his skill set because that's not his true identity position. That Sam position, standing up, smashing the tight end. That's what he did.
He wasn't playing Sam. We don't. They don't.
I know, but I'm still. But it's still you playing the Sam position.
You're saying he's in a 9 technique.
Yeah. Now you got him in his hand in the dirt. This is not where he's comfortable.
Yes.
Look at his stance. He's not comfortable there.
But
he's going to be beaten. Now watch. I promise you.
270 pounds, though. I'm just saying.
But he's not. He should be a 5 and out. He should not be a 3 technique.
5 maybe. This is my point. So if people think when I keep talking about the Southern Cal guy. So if you see 11, you see how he plays when he's playing. He's in a 4-eye right here, right? And you see kind of how that looks. That's what you get out of the guy from Southern Cal. That's kind of what I was saying. I just didn't really see the point. If we're going to lose 11 and Keon, all these guys, I just don't know why we're bringing another guy who also has similar tape just like this. It just didn't really make sense.
Right. You got him in a 3. He's beat already. I mean, just by alignment, you beat. There's no way he can get outside of that. No way. He's beat.
He's beat
by sheer alignment. I mean, look at it right there, Freeze. If you ask him to be a gap player right here, how he's going to get that?
No, but he's not supposed to be playing in this C gap right here. He's not. He's in a 3/4-eye. What he should be doing right here is he should be pressing that. And he's probably going to, you got this guard that's also working as well. So listen, he's in anybody would have a hard time fighting that.
Come on, 3. Come on, 3. 41 now. It's outside. Come on, 3. There's your gap right there. Come on, 3.
That's when you just got to just push up field. You know what I mean? Like you're going to get reached off of alignment. Like you said, you're beat. But see what I mean?
All right, 0. Why 0 hesitating? Go. Shoot.
Oh,
now you get blocked.
But see, this is what their O-line does that we don't do great at, right? I mean, he's covered up. I didn't even see him. Look, he already feels that. Boom, he comes off, block. Them boys execute, man.
Yeah, and I would say we're going to get us off. This is a very good offensive line.
Take him where he wants to go, come off of that, climb to the mic.
This is what you call, folks, chat. This is what you call great coaching, great teaching. I mean, they're physical. They know what they're doing. Look at them.
Well, Yonze's got to work across too, because again, he's replacing, right? They're running a stunt back here, so he's got to feel this.
They pulled him. Look at the hold call right here.
That should have been holding. You're right, and I think he put his hands up. You're right. He did get help. You're right. Because see, this is the thing about having the Southern Cal guy at Bandit. Like, I don't know how comfortable I feel like putting a 290-pound guy out here like that. I don't. He's just an interesting fit. I don't know. See what happens here. They're working the stunt. You got Tim working across the face of the nose.
22. You guys like off tackle play. You got to get underneath. Inside linebacker right here's got to scrape. He's standing up. Look. He's sitting there watching way back. He's blocked. You got to go. Down block. Attack. 22.
Yeah, he's got to blow that up.
This is a receiver. You are 275. That's a 185. Talk to me.
He should blow that up going to the V of his neck. And then
41 should be coming right upfield outside.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's why we're getting gashed, though. LT's got to get under. And we don't wrong arm. I know a lot of people teach wrong arm. We don't wrong arm. That's why I say blow it up to the V of the net. That's what we always used to say. But you still get it kicked, but we want to stay square. We don't want a long arm. A wrong arm, excuse me. That way you get this ball kicked, then he's going to bounce it, and then 41 can play over the top. That's what you want, right? And then he also can trigger. You're kicking it to your guys. This just, I mean, we're in a bad position. Right? I mean, I see what they're trying to do here. Again, they're working these little run stunts, but.
So 41, no, it ain't pass. Look at the lineman. He's coming at you. You sitting there. He's sitting. What is he looking at? Watch the tackle. Here he comes. What you waiting at? What you looking at?
On that. Yeah.
Go up the field, just straight up. You got it. Dead in the water. I had enough of this today. Yeah, payment. D coach getting paid $1 million. I'm sitting here getting paid nothing, smoking a daggum 12-hour cigar. I tell them what the heck they should be doing.
All right, last one. There you go. It's RPO. This is 100%.
They got a blitz or something.
They do, but this is why he already knows pre-snap. Look how we're playing damn near 10 yards off right here. He knows what he's getting, right? What we got?
Either balls out. He knows. He sees it. Balls out. That's called the receiver knows it's blitz, so the way short it breaks his route off. He sees him coming. Stop.
It's not blitz. It's not.
But look, you got
his
one.
Corner is 10 yards off the ball. His corner is off the ball.
You can do that and play zone behind it too, Christian.
Fam, I'm telling you, by alignment, they already have they know what they're going to. This is an RPO. That's why they're blocking like this. They're blocking it like inside zone pretty much, right? They can hand this football off. It's just inside zone, right? Just inside zone. And make sure it's not duo. No, they're not. No, it's inside zone.
They got 7 men up at the line. They're going to be in the line of 7 of them right there.
I'm just saying. So this is why I said, like, Indiana is so smart. Like, all right, they're playing off. It's RPO system. That's why RPO, man, it's tough. They're going to play off like that. Boom. We'll take that quick hitch right there. That's a guaranteed 5 yards, if not more.
With Alabama, it's going to be like 10 yards.
Well, if you're playing 10 yards off the ball, I mean, it's going to be tough. But the reason they're playing off, though, is because, I mean, look at us in the back end. So this is 1st and 10, and we're calling a blitz, pressure, whatever. I mean, we bring literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're in cover 0 on 1st and 10 right here. So this guy, I mean, like, if he plays press and he gets beat over the top, I mean, that's touchdown. So I understand why he's playing off. I mean, he has no help over the top. Cover 0 means there's no safety help. But that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we in cover 0 on 1st and 10 like that? That's just kind of not really.
See, what I would love to do is sit in the meeting room with Kane Womack and him, knowing what I know about the game, explain to me what's happening.
I just told you what's happening.
I know, but I'm talking about for him, because they could have different principles. Every D coordinator is different.
I'll tell you what. He probably just was anticipating 1st and 10. They're moving the football down. We're going to be aggressive to stop the run because they've been running, 4, 5, 6 yards a pop. And then now you're sitting in this position, and you got to respect the fact that, all right, we're going to sell out against the run on 1st and 10, but now we're sitting here and exposed out here in the flat just on a quick hit to the receiver because we're playing 10 yards off the football. This is what I was just saying. Like, we got out physical in this game, but we also got out coached. I mean, it is what it is. It's got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Saying, I mean, they're just running split zone right here. This is just straight split zone. Nothing fancy about it. Split zone with the wide receiver coming across. Kicking out the corner, which it looks like we're bringing a cat blitz because the way he triggered like that. And these dudes, they just run the football hard, man, running through arm tackles, get downhill. Again, this is split zone. He's looking, they're creating this wall right here. This is what they want. And they execute it flawlessly. God damn, these dudes just look, they do everything right. I mean, look.
Well, there's not even a question who's the better coach football team, and it's by far Indiana.
Now, to be fair, though, we should blow this play up, though, at the line of scrimmage. Like, Deontay needs to just trigger right now. He should blow this play up. So, I mean, part of it, yes, there is phenomenal execution on that part. I mean, the wall.
If they had anybody better, that Deontay would have been on the bench, in my opinion.
See, like, we can't just keep standing up right there. We gotta trigger. All right.
You couldn't play that way with Jeremy Pruitt, Kirby Smart, Ty Lupo. You can't play that kind of football like that. Promise you that. They wouldn't. You wouldn't stay on the field playing like that.
A little late to get a line right here again. That is weird, man. I didn't pay attention to this last time. Look, they're getting in the call late. They just got the call in now. Watch. These guys are already snapping the football. We're still trying to figure out where we're going. Ends up working out okay here. But
one thing always true with defense, alignment and assignment. I don't care if it's RPO you're playing, whatever you're playing. One thing is always you got to be good at alignment and assignments, period.
Little slip screen. Nice job by big TK recognizing and blowing it up. I like TK, man. I like TK. I need to ask Roman if he's finally settled down now. He said he was waiting to he hadn't watched the game. He said he couldn't do it. He said he hadn't been able to watch that game back.
He probably don't want to watch. If I'm sitting here mad, got my pressure up, I'd take another pill, probably.
Come on, man. Easy. All right, that's probably good. I've been saying our linebackers weakest part. I mean, they came a long way, man, from the beginning of the year, and they had a lot of progress that they made, and they had some good games towards the back end of the year. I mean, like, all of them played well, honestly. But then the last few games, I felt kind of slipped up a little bit. Nah, I explained it about Pruitt earlier, man. I mean, like, his system is entirely different, and you'd be asking him to come in here and if listen, I'll put it this way. If Kane Womack wanted to adjust his system to a more Saban-style system, he could have been done that. I mean, Coach Saban literally is an open resource, right? So that, I mean, Coach Womack wants to run his system. I mean, that's just part of it. So bringing Pruitt in wouldn't really do anything, given that the system is what it is.
But this is why when I look at these stats, and then when I'm watching what I'm watching, why I have a hard time, and have a problem thinking that this defense can be so dominant. And based on we've been watching tape for an hour and a half after your show, and we've been saying nothing great. We've said one thing, but two things. Oh, that's a great play.
Well, this is one game though, so I'm saying if we go back and watch, I mean, like we go back and watch some of these other games, like we're watching one of our worst games, so that's kind of expected. If we go pull up the tape of second half against Oklahoma was, much better execution. We pull up the tape of Auburn, at times, that obviously they had some, some plays that they made, but there's also some good moments. You know what I mean? Like it's. We're watching that real quick. Let me hit this real quick. We got a super chat from Superfly that always tricks me up. Tricks me up, man. It's been a long day. Roll Tide, Bama family. He says no real question or statement this time. Just showing support. Keep doing what you do, Christian, because we're all here for it, man. Thank you so much, and shout out to the pastor of Payne because having him on here is always great. And I know you guys enjoy the banter, the back and forth, and the breakdown stuff. So, but no, thank you so much for the support, man. We appreciate it. It's fun. We can do stuff like this because I love, like he said, it's like we're like, this isn't to attack anybody personally, or this is like in a film room. Like this is how coaches and players would sit around and you address things. You hold each other accountable. So that's all we're doing. We're just trying to just pull up the tape. And I forgot how we even got to this because I think he just wanted to see like Indiana's offense or something. But I mean.
Well, you were saying how great Bama defense was, and I had question marks.
Oh yeah. But again, we're choosing I mean, if I was trying to show you a very balanced thing, I'd probably show you some LSU tape where we held them to like 3 field goals in the red zone and played a solid game there. I'd probably show you, hell, even I mean Oklahoma the first time we played them. I mean, there was some good stuff about the defense. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we can't just look at their worst game and then come up with a conclusion. But you're right. I mean, here we go again. All out cover 0 works because they're running the football here. But this is what I'm saying. Like when we did bring pressure, it was just very aggressive pressure. To your point, I'll show you when they hit us on something. We get home before this time? We damn sure did. Let's see who or how. We got Quay. We got, who is that? James Smith. I know HaHa put out that tweet, man, but I'm just saying, like, it could have worked with that dude up front, man. He had more production in him. We didn't get the most out of him. I mean, we could have built off that, man. Nice job by Keon Keeley rushing out of a 4-eye, but we got I know the guys kind of got a hold of your jersey, but ain't no excuse, man. They don't call holding. Oh, he did call it. I was about to say, that ref is damn sure wrong. He's sitting there watching. Why did he throw it like that? Why did he do that? Y'all see that? Like he just kind of just chucked it out of his pocket at the last minute trying to be cool. Like, watch him. Refs are interesting, man. Hey, Superfly, seriously, thank you so much for the support, man. Always appreciate you guys, man. Everybody, every single one of you, I appreciate you. Seriously.
I'm your brother. I'm your daddy. I'm your in the end. Superfly.
Hey, there goes your baby giraffe, man. Look at him shedding off big 275-pound Keon Keeley. Look at him protecting that football. Hey, man, he's a weird dude, but he's a damn good football player.
Look at the defender out there. Who was that? 0 again. That's coming up, man. I'm telling him, if I'm coaching him right,
10. That's 10. He's in coverage.
I don't care. Go hit him. Go hit this joker. I'll take 15 at this point.
Nah. I ain't taking 15.
No. We're gonna make him think about running the football. You go attack this dude. Go hit him. Don't go out there and play patty cake.
Again, you got to respect the RPO. Now, this is what bothers me though when we do this though. I am not a fan of when we go to the 3-3 look, but it's like you got this guy as a rover, like 2 yards off the ball. I don't like this. I mean, because let me show you from the back end. Well, let me see. But see, I'm telling you, I think the RPO had dudes spooked, man, because they just weren't like 41 is a physical dude. I watched him come down. Go watch him against Oklahoma. We had him on the show, man. I told him about that. I said, boy, you play the game how it's supposed to be played. But see, we were so hesitant, and I'm telling you, it's because that RPO, man. Like it's like guys wanted to check. That's why I'm not going to be too hard on our backers in this game because it really is a hard task, man. But at some point, we gotta be quicker. But here we go. We're getting to that. I think they call it the Vol package or whatever it is. Basically, an odd defense out of nickel. And we got a 5, we got a 0, and we got what is he? A tight 5. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, man. We got a loose 5 over here, and then I don't know what's the down distance. Isn't it like first down? I mean, so he's literally just running and getting in the zone drop. Bray is. We're not reading our keys. Right? I mean, I know I get it, but again, if you're wait, where's he at? Oh, never mind. Sorry, he's way off. It looked like he was down close to the box. I'm sorry. That's on me, Bray. My bad. But still, once we recognize run, man, we don't need to be. Nobody's just triggering. I mean, so we're just opening things up, and like it just starts with little stuff. Like we're way too wide. There's no need for a 300-pound dude to be in this wide ass. He's in the 9 technique. I mean, so that instead of really trying to press that, and he's not forcing too many holes in these backs, man. Bad angle. I was trying to get to the one where we were in 0, and I think he hit us over the top of that touchdown. I might not be this series, but
I just want to remind chat, this is Indiana we're watching. Indiana.
Number 1 team who blew out Oregon, though. I mean, so don't just make it seem like because the name.
Indiana. Until 2 years ago, worst college football program in America. Indiana.
You can't do that, though. I mean, these dudes are way better than what you're trying to say. Like, you can't do that, man.
Indiana. They don't have a parking lot full of S550s and Lamborghinis and Bets. They don't have all that in their parking lot. Nope.
I feel like we're running these little run stunts damn near every play. Not a bad result right there. Was it 3rd and 8? Is this it? Yeah, this is it. This is what I was trying to get to. So here we go. Nope, not it. Where am I talking about? It might have been another series. Who knows? That was a good play by Deshaun Jones, actually, on this one. Okay, this is it. I'm like, I know they did it like right here. I'm not tripping. So this is what I'm saying. This is where we go straight cover 0. The other one, we had some like hole droppers, some underneath defenders, but here we go straight cover 0. I guess you got some guys coming out late, but and again, I'm telling you, I mean, you're playing a smart quarterback, man. Like, I mean, like like they know what's coming. I mean, like it's clear as day we're playing cover 0 right here. So I mean, he knows he's taking this shot. Look at him. He's seen it the whole way. He's just waiting on it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, bad technique by the DB, but at the same time, man, if you're bringing the house, which again, we bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know a couple guys, quote unquote, pop, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, we got to get home, man. That's hard to ask these guys to sit there and do all that covering, but he's way, way too soft right here. I mean, you're just giving him the whole. I mean, Yeah, I don't know what we're doing, honestly. Anyway. Yeah, Cam Calhoun going to Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty good player. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily just have had him playing over like a guy like Red Morgan. I mean, I think he should have played more for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I do know I need to get some lunch, so I'm going to get out of here. But it was fun breaking down some tape a little bit. I know it was some not so fun tape, but you know, the point of it was I just wanted to show, I was trying to show him, I guess, some of our defense from this game, but also you just look at, they literally had an answer for everything. Again, this is 3rd and 8. We go cover 0. I mean, they don't flinch. And if anything, I mean, they literally take a shot, right? You know, some teams have a philosophy. They're just trying to secure 3 points. They probably play this kind of salt. I mean, these dudes, to me, it's almost like they knew what was coming. They played it accordingly. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's got to be a little bit better. Got to be a little bit better. But if you guys haven't, man, on the way out, hit that like button. I appreciate all the support. We'll be back tomorrow for sure, wrapping things up. Last show of the week before we head into the weekend. Again, the portal's about to close down. So who's in is in. And we got guys on visits. There should be some activity. Hopefully we hear some good news. So we'll definitely keep you guys up to date. Follow us on X too, by the way. We tweet over there and put some updates over there as well. So follow us there. Subscribe if you haven't here. Hit that like button. We always appreciate that. You got any final words before we get out of here?
No, in the words of Russell Simmons back in the day, God bless and good night.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all be easy, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow.